and we begin.
Okay.
Hi,
Okay.
welcome to the session where all the bigs die.
I
Yeah.
like the term bigs.
Bigs.
All the
Penny.
buffs.
Once
What?
again,
What?
I
Who's-
prefer Butch.
Is Kane a butch or is he just Lorge?
God.
Anyways, we're gonna die.
Last
Anyways.
time,
Hag.
we started off with a new friend in the form of Bananas Hag.
Yeah. No, we started off with Alsana made a mistake.
No, that was
then
last
we-
session. That was the last session. The current
the
session,
mistake
she was just
not
there.
finished.
No, the act of the mistake was done. The tag was just there now. And so we go, okay, and she starts renovating things. Luckily, we looted before this whole thing happened. And apparently she was the previous owner of that tower, and was in fact, she wasn't lying with the being stuck in the book from the other hag part, but she was also completely lying about being anything other than a hag.
Which really, when a fucking Tom Riddle ass book comes up, you shouldn't be surprised by.
Okay, but Alsana wanted to know though. So we proceed to play this like very light like balancing act of we don't quite want to fight her yet. She could probably give us more information than the last one did. She's apparently much older than the other hag. And so we have some conversations, and she tells us some stories as a kind of ode, to her for Alsana getting her out. However, Alsana is also being held to her word, written in the book, of being there to help her out, despite the fact that it was all based on lies. And yes, no, fucking asshole, no. we get some vague information on the partially what we're going to be expecting probably at the shrine, in that of three spirits of I believe it was a king, a priest, and a general, and each of them are kind of their souls are bound there, and they were in the falling of the empire, they were absolute pricks. But their souls are bound there, and the only way for them to be released is for one of them to stay behind, and they all hate each other, so no one's going to be doing that. And then we get a second story that the hag claims to have just kind of made up herself, of a young girl who makes a deal with what's only assumed to be a nanny hag kind of thing, with a, what was it, what's the name for the thing?
Spindle?
Spindle. With a spindle that turns things into wonderful, like, silken thread, including human bodies. So that was fun. After that, we Alsana went out to check in on the Pegasus, while the rest of the group helped Granny Nettie move rock and stone around, and kind of considered starting to dig out a basement. And Alsana got the not quite cursed but very malicious kind of bridle, I think it was, on it. And kind of started working on its recovery, which she knows full and completely well how to do. And after some just slight more tense conversation and stuff, Alsana is gifted a iron tooth that is magical and could potentially allow her to speak with the hag at points. Kind of like a sending stone of sorts. The group goes, okay, yep, nice talking to you, goodbye, and we slowly leave, and we inform the orc encampment, which we eventually come across that, yeah, there's the hag's dead, but there's another hag now.
Yes.
We very specifically did not mention whom's to make that happen.
Also doesn't know that. And
Yeah, you did. You clarified. You asked me.
what do you mean?
You asked Kane if I mentioned it. Anyways.
Oh no, mentioned if there was a new hag, not that Alsana did it. anyways, we then are given proper directions by the orcs to the best candidate for what we're looking for, and that is a large collection of old ruins. We do have to unfortunately leave the Pegasus with them, but Alsana promises to be back for it, and she likes him very much. We start our way on a river. Cade hops in a canoe with Calda and big old doggo friend. Meanwhile, there is Alsana and Alaris on the broom, about, I think it's like 20, 30 feet up. And then there's a quick that Alsana notices, and we're under attack.
Yeah.
Yep. So, with that, let's get you onto the map.
Oh boy.
Have you guys roll initiative? I've already rolled for all the enemies.
Alrighty. Kane
want me
has
to-
a stick in his hand.
Do you want me to roll for dog or same initiative?
For sake of ease, let's call it same initiative.
Okay. The dog would have gotten better than me.
Alright, Alsana Edis.
We were going south, I assume? Or
Um,
southeast.
Actually, you guys are heading this way. Just happens to be the layout of the river and the map. You guys were kind of drifting in this direction. So there are rocks up ahead. Bit of a fallen tree. The river is going to continue to drift on about initiative count 20. So the canoe is going to continue to move forward without your direction unless you very specifically take an action to stop it, steer it, turn it, make it go faster, whatever,
Oh
with your
boy.
paddles. Real quick, Alsana's dexterity score.
Is 10.
Okay. Yes, I see. The ability modifier is that. Okay, so the Gnoll will actually go before you. That's everybody on there. So let's go descending order. The Gnoll is before Alsana. Calda, same initiative. You've got +1 to Dex. What's your score?
12.
Same as the Gnoll. Roll me a quick d20.
Okay. 5.
And 3. I rolled to GM, but it's a 3. So you go before the Gnoll. The Gnoll goes before Alsana, then Alaris. Okay. Looks like we're pretty much set. Top of the initiative round. First of all, the canoe does drift slightly up. We're just going to go about 10 feet. I'm going to put it off to one side a little bit just to avoid overlapping too much, but Alaris and Alsana are currently above you in midair. The canoe is kind of moving forward with the flow of the water just a little bit. In the meantime, however, there are the Gnolls on the north side of all this, losing their arrows. There are 4 of them. They're going to each target one of you. So, in order, we're going to have
Remember
Alsana.
disadvantage on me. Never mind. Doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter.
Hit anyway. But thank you for the reminder. I'm going to have to try to remember that. Ilaris, 8 to hit. That misses.
No.
Calda.
Nope.
Kane. Oh,
Stormtroopers.
the
a lot of
entire
them.
the entire volley completely whiffs.
The horse
Everyone.
riding carried over.
Stormtroopers, a lot of them.
Kane.
Alright.
It will take your action to maneuver the canoe in any particular direction.
Yeah, I
But
yeah. Kane's gonna do what he does best, and he's gonna punch to the left.
all right. So I will say that. Let's see. You can go pretty much as far as you want to the left. Just point out where you want the canoe to be. I'll move the entire unit.
He's basically hoping to move it about 5 feet this way, and then turn it so it's grounded here.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and rotate the canoe. Sorry,
That worked fantastic.
Very tough.
Yep. And you run the canoe aground right there.
Alright. He's then going to immediately jump off the canoe.
All right.
Which way does it? Oh, I'm still this direction? Fantastic. Beautiful.
Fantastic. Yes.
And so that's 5.
Do you want me to fix your tokens?
Not in the slightest.
No.
15, 20, 30, and bonus action, free action to switch to his Sword of Thorns two-handed.
All right.
That'll go.
Okay. As you ground the canoe, leap out, and start rushing up this short path through the underbrush towards this squat structure that still remains despite the cracked stones and the toppled pillars around it. You see, standing at the top of this kind of beveled, it'd be a stretch to call it a building.
Structure.
Almost a remnant of a monument, perhaps. You see the circular plinth at the very center, and standing atop it is a slightly larger, scruffier, dirtier-looking gnoll than all the others. He's brandishing a weapon and snarling down at you. Calda.
Alright, perfect.
Okay. I'm gonna hop off the boat and go here. She's going to order a little. I'm gonna start calling him Bart
Okay.
because his middle name's Barty. So, Bart's just gonna like try and hide in like the bottom of the canoe, just trying to cower a little bit while Calder goes and beats the shit out of the man in front of him.
Okay.
Alrighty, let's give it. Wait, what? 1,
Yeah, that'll hit one of those.
2.
Actually, wait. That 10 plus 3, that was enough. How did you want to do that?
Slice him up and just throw him in the tree.
He's bones and scraps of flesh holding them together. You pretty much swing downwards, and between the slashing and then the boom of thunder, you scatter this creature into the air.
Toss a bone to the doggy.
It clatters into the bottom of the canoe, and you hear a little.
Alsana glances
a
at the pieces of Gnolls
hunkers.
hanging in the tree, and she goes, "I know what I'm doing for Christmas."
Goodness.
Calder like fully laughs and Bart's upside down. And I'm keeping
As he should.
He wants a belly rub.
I put him like that, so he really should be. And Calder's going to go over. That was 1, 2. Calder's gonna go over here.
All right. With that, it's the red squad of gnolls to the south. They had been drawing longbows, so they're going to go ahead and stick with that. The one closest to you, Calda, is going to actually fire at you. This one at Kane, let's just do one at a time again. So, slightly different order. First, Calda.
Nope.
Kane.
Yep, but resisted.
Okay. Elaris. 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
And then Alsana, but disadvantage, but it misses
Still
anyway.
a 6 again.
Mhm. Yep. The displacer cloak seems to be serving you very well.
In fact, it went through her and into Alaris. Sorry.
All right.
Getting off this broom!
Alsana, it's your turn. You're driving, so
She's going to bring them down under the cover of the tree over here if she can.
okay.
Perfect.
So you're bringing Alaris down as well. Whoops,
And-
sorry, Alaris. I was moving you too.
And then she's gonna boot Alaris off.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
fine.
She'll float over to here.
All right. What nonsense have you got planned this time?
What nonsense. Just.
I love that it's gone from me being the absolute monster to Devin planning some weird shit every time.
No, I've learned. Druid spells are amazing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Alright, Alsana, whose blood you
Oh, where's my?
using?
Yeah, where's my prepared? Actually, I should keep that on hand. There it is. Yeah, she's just gonna go with a good old ice knife at the blue knoll close by.
Okay. Let's go ahead and have that roll.
Yeah, first level. She's not using them for much. Wait, why is it only letting me do third level? Hold on. Ice.
Have you clicked your long rest from last time?
Yeah, no, I have like all my spell slots open. Ice knife. 3. That's weird.
Perhaps you clicked the wrong spell at one point. It's trying to do that one still.
No, I clicked it twice. Only on Ice Knife. Click long rest real quick, because I haven't taken anything yet. I'll just like undo a spell slot, maybe. Ice Knife. There we go, first level. I fixed it somehow. Submit.
Turned it off and back on again. All right,
Yeah.
a 16 will definitely hit.
Shield 2-1, Harvest Scythe on that.
All right, let's go ahead and have that D10. I believe he has to make a dexterity save. Nobody else is within 5 feet of him, so it's just him. Okay, another 5 on that, so that's 12. And let's see, DC 18 dex save. He'd have to roll high. He rolled high. The knife actually right through his shoulder, and just as it starts to shake, he brings up a hand, yanks it out, and whips it away, and it explodes just off to the side.
Oh.
Doesn't catch him with the cold, but in the instant before he pulled it out and whipped it away, you transformed it into an icy scythe that ripped more out of his shoulder and did further damage.
I can live with it. And she'll just float back to here for cover.
All right. Kind of up in the branches of the tree?
Yep.
Okay,
Just like a bit, 5 feet maybe.
All right. So, Elaris, you are standing on the bank
Okay.
beneath the tree.
Yep, and
With a foot
I'm
mark on
going
your butt.
Yeah, and I've got this boy right here.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast.
Ooh, all right. That hits. Let's see, 5 force. Yep. The 13 actually barely hits because their shields are currently on their back as they were wielding longbows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then, yeah, that'll be my turn for now.
All right. With that, it's the Witherling's turn. One was already reduced to dust by Calda. However, there are a few others. Let's see, they've got a little bit of speed on them. This one right here is, no. Actually, he's going to run towards Elaris because you're just over there. It doesn't seem to notice or care much about Alsana. Can't reach her anyway. But he's going to rush up there. We'll get to attacks in a second. The others have some moving to do. Thing is, yeah, he can just make it up the stairs across the corner and jump down onto the stairs right in front of you, Kane. So you've got that one right there. Those horrible, nasty teeth.
He's
that
got a
one-
bone to pick with you.
That one can only get so far. He's gonna actually dash in order to get right there between the two of you, not knowing that this is a fatal decision on his part.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
At least he's got some backbone.
Yep, this one's oh, we're back to that. This one's gonna
Please no.
dash, rush up there.
Good enough.
Come on, I'm just ripping ya.
Oh, the spine on you, Devin.
You bonehead.
Can you guys hear the sound of my soul escaping my mortal body?
Yeah, keep it going.
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
Conrad.
Most of them had to dash to get their current positions. However, one is going to lunge forward with a bite and swing its club at Elaris. So that's a critical hit,
Oh,
but
you
it
boned.
only does 6 damage piercing.
Yep.
And it swings around with the club, but misses as its teeth kind of catch. They sink in so deep, they catch in your clothing and flesh, and as it struggles to get free, the club kind of flails uselessly at the side before it rips itself apart from you. It hurt a little bit, but you've had worse.
Do
other
you speak
one-
do you speak skeleton? Tell them to stop.
No.
This one right here is within reach of Kane and still has its action. So, same on you, Kane. Bite, that misses. And a club that also misses.
Yeah.
You just kind of bring up a armored forearm and just crash, knock its jaw to the side and then its forearm as it brings the club around. is the Pack Lord's turn. You see the Pack Lord wearing its chain shirt and wielding a glaive with rust along the edge.
Ooh.
Kind of,
That angers Kane more than anything else. Keep
hmm,
your fucking weapons clean, asshole.
kind of paces
Maybe
back
he
and
wants
forth
to
a
give
little
little
bit.
tetanus to the people he skewers with the glaive.
Yeah, excuse. Hurting my friends is one thing, but tetanus, that's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Not keeping your weapon in good condition. Come on.
All right.
I'll try that.
Keep your weapons
Yeah.
clean.
He steps up to just about here, and between the two witherlings, jabs forward with the glaive against Kane. That's a 20 to hit.
Yep.
And a 22.
Alright. The only of the 3 basic damage types that I don't resist.
Kane's stuck in the bone
so
zone.
11 slashing damage. He then will use his Incite Rampage ability. All of the witherlings that are in melee are going to use their...
One creature the Gnoll can see.
My mistake. I got mixed up with the Blade of Il-Naval ability Vola was using a couple of sessions ago. Thank you. All right.
Ooh.
So,
One.
Feeling a bit rattled there, Conrad?
thank you. Thank you. All right. So, let's see which witherling is going to do the thing. You know what? One of the ones flanking Calda. Let's go ahead and say this one right here, because Calda hasn't taken any hits yet, I think. So, this one is going to immediately hear the call of this Gnoll Pack Lord and start to lash out at Calda.
Still haven't taken any hits.
Calda, you just put up a hand and you grab its jaw and hold it shut for a second. You can hear the bone creaking before it wrenches free.
Rattle me both.
Unfortunately, all my enemies seem to be lined up in a row.
Yep.
Yes.
So we.
Yep. So, giant hyenas are fast little things. Fast big things, really. They are large. Yeah, he can get up to you. And they're large, so they might just be able to... Alsana's 5 feet up off the ground?
Enough to get away from a medium creature at least, but if a large creature has better range, that's up to you.
That's one of the weird things, because it's technically got a 5-foot reach, but it also fills like a 10-foot area space. So
She's also up in the canopy, so you could have it. They can reach, but she has a bit of cover.
sure, half cover sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Disadvantage.
So, yep. And disadvantage. So I'm going to go ahead and move these others. This one is not going to dash. It's just going to come trotting up looking for snackies once everything is done its thinking. Couple others. This one's going to do more leisurely approach. It's not going to rush in. This one as well. They're accustomed, it seems, to the Gnoll masters bringing things down, and then they get to have the leftovers.
They're the corners.
Yep. So the one is going to snap at Alsana. Disadvantage indeed. Let me go ahead and get that on there with a bite. That's 11 to hit.
I don't think so with half cover.
Yep. Nope. Because you get +2 to
Actually,
your
no, I
AC.
have 13. Never mind.
You're good. You're fine. It snaps at you, and for an instant, you swear you're attuned to beasts. You're familiar with them. You swear you see a moment of confusion in its eyes. All right, the first bunch of gnolls.
Love this cloak.
They are going to stay at range, but they're going to move around a little bit because some terrain is getting a little unfavorable. That one's fine where he is. This one is going to circle around up here a little bit. This one, because of the rise of the platform and the staircases, is going to go ahead and, let's see, he's going to kind of go around here, hoping for a clearer shot on things. And this guy... Yeah, he's got the range and everything, but it's all getting a bit muddled. He's just going to use his dash action to get over here, hoping for a clearer view. However, the three that do have their actions, let's go ahead and one on Calda. That's a critical.
Oh, yes, she is.
8 plus 5 piercing damage. If you resist it,
Non-magical, so -3.
Yep. All right. One on Elaris over there, but he is kind of having to shoot around not only the giant hyena but the tree. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you half cover as well, +2 to your AC.
Okay.
That's a critical again.
On me?
So that's what this day's gonna be. 9 piercing damage on Elaris,
Yeah.
and then
I
one.
resist piercing.
Good.
For a-
Bring that down to 4. All right, and then one at disadvantage, half cover on Alsana. That's only an 8. That misses. Kane, you are surrounded. You're in a target-rich environment. What would you like to do with
Yes,
it?
I am.
Fight the rattle battle.
I'm going to.
Go for ones on the right. Go for the ones on the right.
No.
No, you really won't.
I also don't know which ones you mean by right. Right relative to my character's
map.
head or right relative to the map?
The map.
The one up to you guys?
Like, no, like, I don't want to meta too hard, but.
No, if you're gonna say it, just say it like it's in a way that I can understand it at least.
Alright,
Go for the ones around Calda.
yeah.
I mean, first thing I was gonna do is I'm gonna step here and throw the javelin of lightning through this.
Yep. All right. How far does that javelin fly again?
120 feet, but I'm gonna aim for this one with the actual attack damage.
Okay, I think it stops at the one that you aim for. I don't think it can. Does it continue for the full 120?
I'm not super certain, but if that is the case, I'll aim for the hyenas in the back.
Range is 30 or 120. Oh, it just extends to you to a target within 120 feet. Hold on. Excluding you in the target must make the DC. I think it's the one you have to target. So, which one are you targeting for the base damage?
For the base damage, if it extends the whole way, this one. If it's between me and the target, this one.
It's between you and the target.
In
So,
that case, the hyenas.
all right. 16 definitely hits the giant hyenas. They take a full 11 piercing and 20 lightning damage. You hear a shriek as the hyena kind of shudders in place. In the meantime, we've got dexterity saving throws from 2 witherlings and a pack lord. So, witherlings first. These will be fun. Nope. They don't have good dex. That's excellent. And the pack lord also fails. They all take 11 lightning damage. Nice.
Right? Are they still up?
Actually, that was just enough to take out the 2 witherlings. Because they don't resist that at all.
All right. In that case, he will throw a quick attack over his shoulder to the one south of Calda, right there.
Okay. By all means.
Two-handed. Where's my sword? Where's my sword?
13 does hit.
Okay. That requires it to be reach, but I'm going to, in that case, drop a reposition over to Alsana.
Okay, Alsana, you have the option of using your reaction to move half your speed, no opportunity attacks. Meanwhile, this witherling just fell apart as you throw the javelin and the lightning flashes and booms, temporarily almost blinding everybody nearby. Just then, you whirl around and almost like under your own arm, jab the sword backwards and then give it a twist, and you put the sword like right between 2 vertebrae, and the twist completely dislodges them, and the entire thing falls apart like a stack of cards.
That's a very satisfying one. Okay. You kind of shout over to Alsana, like, get out of there, and step up forward, take the opportunity attack from that one.
All right, he will indeed. Actually, a Gnoll was reduced to 0 hit points within 30 feet of the witherling. He would have already used his reaction to attack you while you stood there, because he has an
Alright, fair enough.
strike.
Also,
So, that is a quick bite that misses anyway.
Yep.
Yes.
Am I able to stand on the plinth?
Yes. You can hop up there. It's not a tall thing. It might be like a 3-foot step.
Could Alsana rise up into the canopy enough to be out of range of the guys on the
Sure.
ground?
Yeah, I'll say you're at like the very top of the trees. The guys on the ground will not be able to reach you at all. The
Alright.
ones with longbows might. You
Can she
might
be
have
sticking
lost.
her head out?
Yeah, let's go ahead and keep the half cover. You know
Alright.
what? Yeah,
I'll take
it's probably a fairly tall tree. It's one of the bigger ones on the map.
With that, action surge. Because I might as well at this point. They attacked my boat. No one lives past that. And he's going to make a swinging attack against the Gnoll Pack Lord.
All right.
That's going to be a disarming attack.
Oh, that definitely hits. 13 plus another 4 for 17 damage. All right, he's gonna make a strength saving throw or he loses his glaive. 17, he just barely manages to keep hold of it. You do the twist of disarming, and for an instant you feel it slipping out of his fingers, and then he reaffirms his grip and it stays firm in place.
Okay. And he will take a secondary swing. Yeah, he'll do it at the same Pack Lord.
Okay.
Alright. No, wrong attack
that
actually.
that was the wrong
would have
attack,
been
but
like
it's
a
still
+1.
it's
So,
still in that
11.
one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as he readjusts his grip on the glaive, he brings it sharply downwards, and just as you were bringing the Sword of Thorns up for another swing, the two weapons collide, and the Sword of Thorns is kind of knocked uncomfortably in your hand, jarred, and the tip goes downwards when you meant it to be going up. In basically recovering from that, you lose the momentum and the advantage of the attack.
Alright. And with that, I will actually step 5 more feet this way because he has reach. That'll be all.
He does indeed. All right, Calda.
Yay! Bonus action on the pack. Never mind. Let's just action hit the fucking skelly bitch in front of me.
That hit.
Okay.
That takes him out and then some.
Onto this
God.
tree this time. You're making a very nice display.
Oh, beautiful. It's actually Christmas.
Mm.
Then she's gonna go. over
Of note to poor Alaris, the Witherling in front of you is going to use its reaction on a Vengeful Strike. A Gnoll was reduced to 0 hit points within 30 feet of him. He sees that, and he seems to kind of lose his head for a second as he bites forward, but it's just like gnashing teeth in your face, but you fend it off by knocking it aside with is it a crossbow right now? It's a crossbow, right?
It's a crossbow. No, I
No,
haven't
you
trained
don't have it
yet.
out. Right. You knock it aside with your hands, actually, and for a second, it's like you're... to step out of game for a second, you're in a kung fu movie for a moment.
Yeah.
You do like the hands around the snout of a crocodile.
And then second attack, I'm in melee with the pack lord.
Indeed you are.
Let's do that, and just for fun, quick little one.
Oh god. Yep, he was barely hanging on to a thread of life as you ram the greatsword into him with a thunderous boom. As you hold it there, you see him look up and start to open his mouth, blood gushing out the sides, and reach towards you with a clawed hand. And just then, boom! Radiant energy flows through you into the sword and rattles him apart from the inside. He falls off the blade.
Now I'm gonna stand on top of his body, and that's my turn.
Alright.
Start Fortnite dancing on top of it.
No.
Oh, damn it, I wasn't muted, sorry.
Ooh.
Good to know the kind of commentary that happens when we cannot hear.
Look, you guys only hear the good stuff, and that's saying
I don't
something.
think we do.
I don't think
Comparatively,
we
you do.
You forget to mute a lot, man.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not used to having the button back, okay?
Alright. The Gnolls. This one is going to hold position and shoot up at... he's going to shoot up at Alsana, but disadvantage half cover. This one back here is going to shoot at Alarith. This one here has a pretty clear shot at Kane. This one has no clear shot at anybody, so he's going to, hoof it just to get a little closer. So he doesn't have his action. So
Whoa.
Sorry, I accidentally kicked my desk.
it happens. All right. So first one, Alsana.
Nope.
That's 5.
Head under into the tree.
You look down and you see the arrow kind of quivering in a branch. It's like 5 feet below your foot. Elaris, that's 21 to hit, 4 piercing damage.
2 piercing
All right.
damage since I resisted it.
And Kane, that misses. An arrow whizzes past your elbow and into the stones, a little bit forward of your foot.
Okay.
Right, that is their turn. Alsana.
All right. Things are much more spread right now, but I'm gonna do a thing. Under 20 feet, yeah, I'm good. Gonna cast a moonbeam.
I was waiting for it. Draw your circle. As Alsana unleashes the Spotlight of Death.
Oh.
Right there.
Moonbeam.
Okay, so let's see. That's some immediate con saves, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So 2 Gnolls. Let's do those first. Constitution. Boom. Boom. Success and failure. So left to right, pretty much.
On that second one, Harvest Scythe.
Okay. Let me go ahead and half the 15 rounded up is 8.
Wait, isn't Alsana's DC 18, not 17?
Oh, wait.
Because on
Oh.
Ice Knife, the DC was 18.
Yeah, you're right. It's 8. Why did I think it was 17? Anyway, yeah, he takes the, let me put that back. He takes the full 15 damage. The Harvest Scythe is only on the second one of the 2, right?
I believe that's how we're running it right in this game.
Okay. 15 plus 8 is... My brain just shut off. 23. That is, just over enough to drop that one where he stands. And the giant hyena, in the meantime, Constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
Nope. For a moment, the giant hyena actually, holds still in the moonbeam and doesn't seem to notice anything is happening. And then as the smoldering starts to catch on the patch of fur behind quarters,
Right
you
on its
see
butt.
its head whip around. Yep. And it...
I'm just imagining the Lion King hyena, just the big eyes, uh-oh.
Uh-huh. Pretty much that. Anything else from your turn? Of note, I believe you get a little healing when the Harvest Scythe takes something
that
down.
did kill a guy, you're absolutely right. Alaris, you get a, you get 2 hit points.
Nice. Take what I can get.
She just flicks a little bit of energy towards you.
Yeah.
Basically a band-aid slaps you on the side of the head.
Nice.
It's like tiny little sticky note.
All right. Anything else on your turn?
I think that'll be it for her. She's keeping cover in the tree.
Okay. Elaris.
Yeah.
There's a gnoll witherling in your face. It's undead.
Yes. I'm going to transform my Felsteel Orb into a Great Axe for my action.
Okay.
Go get him, Dagger.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Maybe
What
allergic
do
to
I have?
hyenas. Alsana calls from up above.
No! And, yeah, that's all I can really do.
Okay.
Sent it again.
This one lone witherling is going to do the only thing it can or would, and it's going to attack Alaris because he's right there. So, this is a bite on you for 18 to hit, 5 piercing,
Uh-huh.
and then a club that misses.
So 3, right? Since it's halved? Wait, no, that's bludgeoning.
Round down to you. It's 5 piercing that hits.
Okay.
The club misses. I'm pretty sure your AC is not 7.
Yeah. I just saw the 5 and I was like, okay. But yeah.
All right. As you take your hands away from its previously gnashing mouth in order to form the orb into a great axe, and it takes this opportunity, lunges forward, and the teeth grab onto your shoulder for a second. You push it off with the axe, but it comes away bloody.
I hate having to burn an action for that.
Sorry.
Not fun.
You can carry it around as a weapon. You don't have to make it an orb in between.
Yeah.
The Gnoll Pack Lord is dead. Let's go ahead and remove his token from the tracker.
Here you go.
Hyenas! Sorry, that was very loud.
One has to make a con save.
Exactly. So, go ahead and reroll the damage. He fails. So let's go ahead and see what that is.
Moonbeam repeat.
Another 11 damage. He's looking kind of rough. He is going to get his tail out of dodge. Rushes towards the two of you up on the plinth, still smoldering from the hindquarters and kind of foaming at the mouth, it looks like. This one is gonna race on. Yeah, he's gonna race on over here. Sorry, Alaris, but you're right there.
Yeah.
All right, so this is going to be 1 bite attack on Kane from a giant hyena, 24 to hit, 11 piercing.
Resisted.
Okay, 1 on Calda, 23 to hit, 6 piercing. The one below you, Alsana, is kind of trying to jump up and do he's doing the dog thing on the tree where he's jumping up, trying to claw, snap.
Trying to
at
get the
branch.
goth squirrel.
Pretty much. The one next to you, Alaris, is going to do a quick bite. 23 to hit, 15 piercing.
Yeesh.
Ooh, that was max damage.
Oh my god, what the is that? Wait, the 15 is the
Yep.
one to hit?
23 to hit. Yeah, 15
23
piercing.
to hit, 15 halved is
7.
7.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
These are Mina hyenas.
Yeah, they are. The one below Alsana is pretty much just wasting its action being incredibly stupid because it's got an intelligence of 2. Trying desperately to reach her. At one point, the snapping jaws and the head flinging back actually sprays a line of slobber onto your ankle, but that's as close as he gets. The blue Gnolls. This one's gonna look kind of terrified at the beam of moonlight burning his companions right there, and he's gonna skedaddle off this way. Yep. This one is gonna look over his shoulder, and there's a little bit of a uh-oh noise, but in Gnoll. It's gonna kind of do the same.
Oh, bother.
And they're going to start loosing arrows. The two at the top are... You know what? Yeah, they're gonna... There's giant hyenas flanking in the way of Ilaris. They're gonna shoot at Alsana. So they're aiming up into the tree. You still have your half cover and disadvantage until something hits. So
Yep.
let's see if it does. 16 to hit. with your
That
half-
will hit.
All right,
I believe.
disadvantage.
Because half cover
goes
is
over-
2, right?
Yes.
Alright, yep. So 15, yep.
4 piercing. So they no longer have disadvantage on the others as the first one gets really lucky. However, you still have +2.
Yep.
16.
Yep.
17.
You're having fun, aren't you?
I'm sorry. I didn't expect that to happen. Can I have
Like
a
11
concentration
damage.
check on Moonbeam?
Yeah, all 4 times.
You gotta be the 10.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's down.
Yep.
On the second one, it's down.
You can at least be honest in wanting to kick my ass. Come on.
Oh, but you got hit by 1 round. You're fine.
I know, just you can expect it.
It's 1 round. You're fine.
Look,
I'm not concerned about me.
I'm spreading damage around the party. You shush.
Sure you are.
I'm trying to.
We've all been hit.
I,
Oh yeah.
However, that is their turn. Kane.
Okay, Jane's gonna immediately just lay into the one they hit earlier with the lightning.
Absolutely. He's looking kind of rough, so go for it. That definitely hits. 9 slashing damage. He's looking pretty bad.
Right, and secondary one. No, I don't want to do anything fancy on this one yet. Yeah, no, I want to keep this one right here. That'll be that one.
The same one?
Yes.
All right. And that is enough to drop him.
Oh, okay. Well, I used Orcish Fury anyways.
Okay. You don't have.
I was gonna drop it anyways. I have to technically declare it before the attack.
Okay. In that case, you didn't declare it before the attack, so hold on to it.
Okay, fair enough.
And make sure you declare it before the next time you want to use it.
Right. So they'll just like
Actually,
slice
it's-
into the one big one.
You don't have to declare it before the attack. It's when you hit with an attack made. You can roll the
Oh.
damage dice. So,
Right, fair enough.
still keep it. Just keep it. Because the 13 was overkill. So I'm going to say you judged it well enough that you sank the sword in and the hyena just jolted and then fell. The javelin is still kind of sticking out of its shoulder.
Can you just like pocket it?
Yep, you can just kind of reach over and
He'll look over to Calden and just be like, "And I'll leave the ones up here to you." And he'll rush down this way, take the opportunity attack.
all right. So this giant hyena is going to bite at you and miss completely. Okay, so you're right there. Spinning around.
Gotta break dance just a little bit. Alright, and that'll be all.
Calda.
Okay, let's hit the one I'm in melee with, so let's do one. That's a
Alright.
13.
A 13 actually hits.
Oh, that's 18 damage.
It's going to be very hard for you guys to miss these things. Oh, and 18 damage. It's looking real rough as you sink the sword in, and it kind of starts to lean against the masonry and stagger. There is blood dripping down from its chest and pooling around its paws. Its head is hanging low. It's panting.
Ooh, fuck it up, Kenneth.
And you do.
I fucked it up, Kenneth. Cool. Okay. That's a vibe. I'm gonna go help.
Okay. So you rush into melee with those others and provide a distraction for alarms.
Yeah.
All right, Gnolls. This one looks right down where it used to be in the moonbeam. Kind of had its hands up around its head, and it lowers them and looks around like it's surprised it's still alive. Kind of lowers the arms further, looks around at the absolute chaos this battlefield has become. And yeah, he sees a clear nearby target in the form of Kane harassing his buddy. So does this one. This guy is going to stow the longbow and pull out a spear. So all of this is going to be on Kane.
Alright.
So spear first. 18 to hit.
Ah, that hits.
4 piercing damage.
Halved 2.
2 longbows. 21 and 10.
Alright.
6 piercing damage, halved to 3 for the one that hit.
Perfect. I was really hoping that spear would miss me so I could repost.
Unfortunately, that one just managed to find a opening as you
Alright.
prepared yourself and set yourself against it. Alsana.
Just blow me up. See if I got like a fireball or something, just blow me up.
I was gonna fairy fire the 3 guys below me, but Cult is there now.
Sorry, I can probably save.
Yeah, but she probably won't with how things are going right now.
I mean, to be fair, if Calda becomes the biggest target, it's probably the wisest choice of the 3 being attacked.
Alaris is more HP than me.
Yeah, but you have armor class.
And damage reduction.
Yeah.
Not much.
No. Alar says resistance is called just not. Except for the...
It depends on the damage, but yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
whatever. Do it.
Nah, I'm bonus action on Alaris. Because he took like the full damage before, right?
Yeah,
Like is he rough looking or?
not really.
He has like 2 physical resistances, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was still getting hit a
Slash.
lot. Was all. All right. Yeah. Fine. Screw it. Fairy fire. 3 guys and Calda.
Woo!
All right. So that's 2 giant hyenas with the dex saving throws. Fail and success.
Called failed.
Called failed,
Called
and
failed.
a
Calder has a
witherling.
plus.
That's with the plus. I added it.
Oh damn. Okay.
Oh dang.
The witherling fails. So the top one and the witherling are both glowing. Purple, I assume.
Yep.
All right. And Calda also, unfortunately, is glowing with the effects of the fairy fire.
I'm purple.
Also goes and casts it, and then Calda immediately runs into the spot, and she goes, "Oh, I."
I almost saved. Almost. I forgot I don't have dexterity.
Almost.
Almost. And it's fine.
However, that is your action. Anything else? Your cloak is back up, by the way.
Yep.
Start of your turn.
Yep,
So-
she'll move down 1. That'll be her.
Okay.
So yell
still
down to
up-
Alaris, "Go get him!"
Okay.
Yep, I'm still in the tree because it's the best thing I could do right now.
Absolutely.
Because I actually kind of want to go for these guys up here.
I mean, go for it.
So I'm gonna misty step over.
Nice. Okay.
If you miss, that's on you, man.
Yeah, I know. Listen,
You'll be
man.
fine. They're gnolls.
Yeah. And then 2 great axe attacks.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
That first one actually killed it.
Cool.
So, yep, you do indeed, because they are humanoids. In the meantime, this one witherling is going to use his vengeful strike reaction to bite at Calda at advantage,
Okay.
because it just saw that die.
Okay.
25 to hit, 4 piercing.
Down to 1.
Okay.
Let me see how. Does it go on my
Alright.
initiative or does it?
has its own
Temporary
turns.
hit points equal to half your warlock level.
Roll initiative. It has its own turns.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So once you get that in there, go ahead and get that initiative in, and I'll just place it
Yes.
on the turn order.
Initiative.
All right, 18, not bad. It's gonna go right about there. There we go. Okay, you've got one accursed specter. Technically that fell on your first strike. If you want to use your movement, I'll allow you to use the second strike as rolled against something else within
Yes.
movement range.
I will go against this one.
All right, makes sense. So that one takes 8 slashing damage as Ilaris just poof, misty steps and is gone from that space, reappears across the battlefield, swings the great axe around, and completely caves in the chest of this one gnoll. Rising from the spray of blood coalesces in the air is a dark, shadowy specter. It hovers in place above the knoll, looking around the battlefield, as Ilaris, not breaking stride, rushes past, and before that gnoll's body hits the ground, strikes into the shoulder of the second. Will that be your turn?
Yeah. Yeah, since I have to wait a bit for the apparition to go.
Okay. The Gnoll Witherling is going to once again attack Calda at advantage. Technically, it gets the multi-attack this time, so bite and club. 18 and 19.
So that's 2 damage. Need to check. That is 2 damage.
Beautiful. All right.
Oh fuck, we're in sunlight, aren't we?
Yeah, we're in sunlight.
God damn it. The apparition has disadvantage on attacks.
Unfortunately, it is midday, the sun is high, it is bright, beautiful out.
Yeah.
But
So he's gonna go for these boys over here that have advantage on them.
probably a good
Uh,
idea.
Probably.
However-
This one has advantage on it, right?
The purple
Okay.
ones have advantage. So, giant hyenas. There's only a couple left. And they're both gonna go for Calda at this point, because the one has realized it cannot reach Alsana. Also, Calda is unfortunately a little shiny.
Don't
So-
worry, fun amusement.
24 to hit, 12
Yep.
piercing. Reduce it as you need be. 23 to hit, 10 piercing.
9 plus 7 is 16.
12 inches is a foot.
I can't do math. 1 second.
Okay.
Got it.
Alright. This gnoll up here, next to Elaris, stows the longbow and pulls out a spear. It's gonna take a jab at you, Elaris. 20 to hit, 4 piercing damage.
Reduced to 2.
Alright. The two on the ground over here, one is gonna fire his longbow at Kane.
Oh gosh.
16 to hit. I don't think that hits you, Kane, right?
Even unarmored, I'm good.
Alright. The other one is going to, at disadvantage, try to shoot at Alsana. They're just trying to knock you out of the tree, it seems.
Mhm.
That's a natural one, as the bowstring snaps.
Nice.
He looks at the longbow, throws it angrily down on the ground, draws the spear, and with a cry, rushes forward into Kane's space. Have fun
Save
with
me
that.
trouble.
Exactly. It is the apparition's turn. What do you want him to do?
Yes. The apparition is going to go over. He has incorporeal movement, so he can move through Calda and the thing.
Calda, like a bucket of ice water, you feel this thing wash through your back.
Kane, we fell in the river.
Yeah, and then he's going to go for this one right here, and he has advantage, right?
Yep, advantage from fairy fire, disadvantage from sunlight, even
So
it
just
out.
a normal attack, yes.
Mhm. That is just enough to finish it off.
Yeah.
As one undead drains the vitality out of another. I don't think they... Nope, they don't resist necrotic or anything, so yep, that thing has been down.
Yeah. And he's going to just sort of do his thing there. Just stay. He'll
Alright.
have his turn.
Kane.
Alright. Neither of these two gnolls below me are hurt, are they?
Let me see. The red one looks like it's taken a few hits.
Alright. In that case, he'll make this swing against the blue one.
Okay.
Go, and with that, a sweeping attack, so the 5 goes into the red one.
Alright. So 14 damage on the blue, 5 on the red. They're both looking kind of rough now.
I was hoping that would be it. Okay. Yeah, that'll be fine. Kane will do the same thing, this time swinging at the red.
Okay. Definitely hits. Definitely enough.
Oh.
Unfortunately, the momentum you built up for that swing is kind of halted as the sword catches on bone as you carve through the first gnoll. By the time you get through and sweep to the second, a lot of force has been lost and you just kind of nick him. He is
Okay.
still standing.
He'll at least step to here, and can he like not actually shove action, but just kind of like nudge that one like closer to the water?
Hmm.
Just make it uncomfortable.
You bump into him and he, one foot kind of slides back into the water a little bit, but
Just want to
steps
bully this
back.
gnoll a little bit.
okay. You bully him.
There we go. Alright, that'll be all.
Calda.
Woohoo!
You got a shiny hyena and a not shiny hyena.
On the not shiny hyena to the south, Vowie Wowie.
Okay.
Yowie, wowie!
Yep.
I'm gonna hit it.
Yowie, wowie!
Everyone else can hit that advantage. This is my special advantage. 1,
My
It is
special advantage.
2.
All right, so 9 plus 3. Bloody hell. All right, I'm not going to bother counting because 20 radiant damage is enough, definitely, with those things to take it down.
Is it dead yet, Arfiel?
He's dead now. He's
Yeah,
dead.
he's dead now.
Okay. Fuck. Do I have anything else to do? I did my bonus action, did my attacks. I'm good. I'm
Yep,
just
you just
vibing
did,
where I
uh,
am.
You just did 49 points of damage.
Alsana's ending
Sure.
concentration on Fairy Fire.
You're going to drop concentration.
Yep.
Okay. No more purple. On this or on Calda.
Purple is really my color.
All right. It's the Red Gnolls' turn. 2 of them left. They both have longbows still, I believe. So, they're both gonna. Things are looking bad, actually. Let me go ahead and check something. Yeah. Nope. They both turn around and they start to head for the hills. Alsana.
The guys down by south. Sorry, they're the ones who are running? These guys?
The red ones at the edge of the map.
Alright, and then they are at the edge of the map?
Let's just call it the edge of the map. I didn't really measure, I just know they're running for it.
Okay. Do much of anything else. So... Yeah, she will, because I don't think they are more than 120 feet away.
Nope. They're
So she's going to cast Erupting Earth
Mm-hmm.
under their feet. I don't have it on my sheet. Dexterity saving throw. 3d12 bludgeoning damage.
Alright, so 2 dex saves. They both fail. Give those 3d12. 22.
She's-
How do you want to do it on them?
Just limbs everywhere.
One was previously untouched, 22 was just enough. The other heavily injured, he didn't stand a chance. As you reach out a hand, scattering ash into the air, and you see these 2. They're not small yet, but they're starting to get there. Little figures running away as fast as their little legs can carry
And
them
she just
over the
points a
grass and
finger
rock.
upwards.
Yep. With a sudden twitch of movement, boom! Jagged rocks burst from the undergrowth. And they are bodily thrown into the air and come down with a snap.
Full cartwheel. Okay, that will be mainly her. Yep, and she'll return to cover.
Alright. Elaris.
Yeah. 'Tis my turn, yes.
Yes.
And I'm upside down again. Gosh darn it. I don't know who's turning me upside down, but
I don't know what you're talking
someone's
about, man.
doing it.
Yeah, I have no clue what you're talking about at all.
I have no clue what you're talking
Someone's
about.
doing it.
Couldn't be like the 2 people of Exeter sheet or something.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Curious. Great axe.
How do you want to do that?
I want to like go down all the way, just go from clavicle to ankle, just split him like near
Bisect,
down the
bisect.
middle. Like completely bisect him both ways.
Can I put 1 sec?
You know, in honor of the rotating icon, you kind of jump up, do a flip, and bring the great axe down
Nice.
and completely split him down the
Full, like Cloud Strife Striver.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now we match, John.
Goodness.
Anything else? You've got another. You've got movement and another attack if you can get to a place for it.
Let me see here. 35.
All of those are dead. The only thing within reach right now is the giant hyena, and you'd have to use Misty Step.
Bonus action Misty Step.
All right then. Second attack.
Yes. That's not the right sheet, and that's not the right name.
My man's got spell slots.
2 of them that I can restore on a short rest.
Isn't it nice?
Yes.
There they go.
And for this one, you know what? Let's end off strong. Let's try and go for a Felsteel Concussive Blast. I forgot to do the damage for that, but it's 4d8, isn't it?
21 hits. I'd have to double check. I don't have it memorized. Concussive blast on a weapon.
48, yeah.
Oh, when you attack a creature with an attuned Felsteel weapon and roll a 20 on the attack roll, the target takes an extra 10 necrotic damage. You gain 10 temporary hit points.
Yeah.
So you've got 10 temp HP.
Nice. And then 4d8.
1 charge, weapon form, bonus. The charge is expended as a bonus action. It's not an attack.
Oh crap. Okay.
So unfortunately, you won't be able to use that, but you can do a
Okay,
normal
yeah.
attack with it.
That's fine. Oh crap.
13 still actually hits giant hyena. They have a very low
Nice.
armor class.
Nice.
But 8 slashing damage. It's the first hit this one is taken.
Fair enough. I need to fix the filter. Give me a sec. But yeah, that's my turn.
All right. Keep in mind the whole 10 on the crit, just in case it happens again. Just in case.
Yes.
Maybe write into the description for the just regular weapons.
Yeah.
If you can put it on your sheet, it'll be easier to remember. The Gnoll Witherlings are all dead and gone. Giant hyena, there is one left. And it's got a choice. It's gonna choose the thing that just hurt it.
Yeah.
So, Elaris. 17 to hit. But the good news is that the piercing damage just comes out of the 10 temp HP you just gained. So, that's not too bad. The Gnolls. Blue. Yep, the only 2 that are left. I'll say that they're focused enough on Kane they don't realize how bad things have gotten in the last, 10 seconds. They're going to both attack Kane with their spears. 18 and 9.
18 will hit with the 9.
Mm-hmm.
Finally!
Alright, you use your reaction, and yep. That hits. 9 plus 7 is 16 damage on him.
That, I will Orcish Fury to get the additional damage dice.
Go for it. 10.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunate, but every bit helps. He is still standing. He's looking really rough on his feet, though. Alright, that'll be it for them. The apparition's turn. John? John, are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There
we
you
go.
are.
yeah. Yeah, so the Xanthian apparition is gonna go for this one at disadvantage.
Okay.
This one's gonna be kind of dicey. Oh, wow.
They're all
Nice.
dicey, John.
Yeah.
11 necrotic damage, and he needs to make a 10 Constitution
I don't
save.
think that's the constitution. I don't think that's actually. Is it? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. I was
Right.
like, oh wait.
Honestly,
Or does it not? Let me see.
honestly, the hit point maximum is not going to matter. You're going to kill this thing.
Oh, cool.
You know, the hit point maximum isn't extra damage. It's just it can't heal.
Yeah.
Nothing is
Okay.
healing this.
Yeah.
So, Kane. Conrad, you are muted.
Sorry, that one's at the one below.
Okay. Yep. 15 hits, and that's enough. Go ahead and roll for the other one.
Alright, and as below, so above. And with
Keep
that
it-
one,
You keep rolling
Push!
the Warhammer by accident. Is
I
it the
do.
same amount of damage?
uh,
It's a D10.
same amount of damage, but just +1.
Okay, so gotta remember that. It doesn't
Yes, I-
matter. Doesn't matter. How do you want to do each of them?
Well, first one is just getting like slashed across the chest, like, and the spear, and the drop. The other one's getting just basically thrust to the chest, and then just the hilt or crossguard hits it so hard it just flies into the river.
All right. Yep. As you punt a Gnoll corpse into the river, and it starts bobbing and just kind of slowly drifting downstream a bit.
Alright. And he will take bonus action, free action to switch to short bow and start sprinting after these ones.
They're dead.
Oh, the one's way below. Oh, wait, they're dead?
Yeah, Alsana exploded
Ah.
beneath them.
Okay, I was trying to figure which one she attacked for that one. Never mind, in that case. He'll run up to here and just start yelling in the face of this hyena.
All right. The hyena is surrounded and starting to look a little more confused than before. Calda.
I'm making it a family affair. I'm calling in the doggy.
The doggy.
Oh no.
Mori's gonna try and bite him.
Go for it. He hits for 3 piercing.
Good boy, and that's a strength saving throw.
Yes. No.
Damn it. Good boy. I'ma hit it. Now why is that an advantage? Fuck.
Same number.
Same number.
It's fine.
Number.
So, 11.
And 25.
How do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Help him the doggy, but even then just one slash across and both the hyena's heads just like right off.
All right. As your dog worries at the hyena's ankles, you go jump up, kind of jump off the trunk of the tree with one foot, bring the great sword up over your head, and then down. And with that final thud of the hyena's head and then its body hitting the ground, the field goes still and quiet once again.
Alright. Kane is just gonna go around and pick up every weapon he can find on the ground.
You find a handful of like kind of shoddy longbows, some clubs that are really just rough tree branches, the rusty glaive from the pack lord.
Just pocking them all into the bag.
Okay.
Also, I was gonna move the body in the river just off to the side, so it's not just floating way down.
Okay.
Yeah.
You kind of wedge it up on the bank.
Yeah, just-
Take
might be
up
best
the
if
skull.
the things ahead don't see the corpse going down the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
And us following behind it.
Well, it'll give us at least they'll be acting when we get there, not a few minutes before.
Alright.
Uh,
Any idea what this thing is? They got like gestures to the plinth.
just gonna
No.
walk over or float over.
Right.
And she'll just also if you would just, these are humanoids still, if you want to arrange the bodies.
Yeah, sure, I can start getting that all up.
Yeah,
Cole's
I
just
can
gonna
help
start
with that.
pulling all the bodies to arrange them for a
Yeah.
sort of send off.
And she also gives a funny look to the specter still hanging around until Hilaris's next long rest.
Yeah.
All right.
Should you give a look at this little structure plinth thing going on here?
Sure. Do you want to do investigation just to?
If there's any markings or anything on it other than just stone, but also if she could potentially recognize architecture or anything, or what it could be used for.
All right. Go ahead. Investigation.
All right. Glasses on. Yeah, she'll guidance herself too. $16.
16. All right. Well, you see some smaller buildings around. You see the broken remains and stumps almost of columns facing various directions. Remnants of what may once have been actual roads. You can see a few flagstones, mostly covered in brush and moss, extending in the four directions. It's hard to say what the purpose of this place actually was, but it doesn't seem like there was any larger structure. You don't see any signs of a roof. You don't see any signs of uh, anything like statuary or taller walls at any given point. Whatever this was once upon a time probably stood fairly out in the open as it is now. Um, Beyond that, there's really no writing, at least nothing that time hasn't scoured away already. Purpose? Be a waypoint? Maybe a monument of some kind, though if so, signs of what it stood for are long since gone. It's a little hard to say.
Just
But
drags
it
across
is.
the stone.
It seems to be the same type of stone, the same style of cutting and placing together that a lot of the ruins you've come across so far have had.
And she's going to give a quick look as well for any small little secret hatches, levers, anything. The more like secretive things that this place might be holding rather than obvious stuff.
Okay. You poke around for a while. You don't come up with any secret hatches or levers. Spend a good amount of time like poking around the base of the round plinth and prying at it, and no give, no budge, not even any scrape mark or anything that would indicate it's supposed to or could move at any given point.
Alright. Next, she's going to go find the captain's body.
Alright. You find the Pack Lord.
Take a seat beside it.
Uh-huh.
And look over and go, should we ask about other patrols and the like they might have?
Or at least other packs that they're competing with that might be around. I doubt they all organize.
Might be worth appeasing to his want to see others fall, who knows?
Yeah.
And she'll blow some dust and smoke into its mouth.
Alright. The smoke flows into the open mouth, filling the lungs and expanding the chest briefly in a parody of breath. What questions will you ask of it?
What Gnolls do you command and rule? Was the group you're with the only that are under your rule? That might have been two, meaning to be one, basically.
Okay. Basically, if you had to choose which of those questions to
The
focus
latter
on.
one, yeah.
Alright. Were
is-
these Gnolls the only ones under his command? I command those I see. Those I see follow me. Stupid strangers.
Not stupid enough to lose to you, I guess. Any who do not follow you around here, any who ignore your command.
Stronger than me can ignore. But no others.
Any other humanoids, null or otherwise, in the area you would like to see dead and gone?
you. 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 Our land, my watering hole, my hunting grounds. No others. Go away. Go away, go away, go away.
So then, if you want us dead, where would be the worst, most dangerous place we could go if we wanted to die, like you ask and want of us?
In the river. In the river. Drowny drown, bubble bubble. Or in the ruins in the ghosty lands. Breathe the ghosts in. Never come out.
I'm at 4.
Yes, you are. Did we lose someone?
I'm here. I'm
John
thinking,
bombed
thinking.
out.
John.
Yep, I think John's computer died.
Ah. But yes, you've got one more question.
Yep.
The Gnolls corpse just kind of quietly giggles to itself on the ground.
From the monument, what's the best way for us to go to the ghosty lands and die?
Follow the remnants of the road, follow the remnants of road, remnants of road. Flaggy paths, they're everywhere. The ghosty lands are everywhere, all around. Wander and you'll come to them.
Maybe you'll get your wish, dear. And just pats and lets
The
the
ash-
rest go.
The ash flows out with the last gasping laugh. And it disperses in the air.
Well, it seems all roads lead to ghosty land. So long as we continue on to the larger place, I believe we have incorporeal undead to deal with.
Yeah, and I don't think those Gnolls, even if we tried to ask them anything else, they'd give a direct answer.
Yes, I think this would be the most intelligent one of them anyways.
So, shall we journey then?
Suppose so. And if you
You
need
don't-
any preparation for what we might be up against, and she just kind of like throws a rock at the specter nearby. Not really intending to hurt it, but just like just to throw something through it and show it's incorporeal, and just like be sure to have your magical weapons on hand.
Yeah.
Alright. Do we have time for a quick break? Or should we keep journeying?
Do you need one?
I could use it. We have time, right?
Believe so.
Take an hour to rest. Maybe
Patching up
see if
these,
there's anything else to find out here.
patching up these arrow marks wouldn't hurt.
So again, we'll kind of get seated. He will grab the glaive and he will begin getting rid of all of the rust.
Okay. So you guys can go ahead and take a short rest. Sitting here in the sunlight, rearranging your equipment, making sure that the bodies are out of the river, lined up however you would see fit. Kane, you're able to pack the canoe away, if you so wish. You prepare
Might
for
just
the next.
tie it to a tree instead.
Okay. Intending to come back.
Also, I will patch most everyone up if they need it.
Yes, please.
Yep.
Alright, you guys can take max on your hit dice.
I was like, wait, don't change roll, and then it's like, oh, you're fine.
Yeah, I can't fail a DC 15.
Yeah, I'm just like, wait, nah.
My dice don't like me today.
Take your max hit dice. Alsana is going around doing the medic thing.
Oh, I know. I'm just laughing at the second wind followed by the hit dice.
Ooh, that is low, boy.
So I'll use 3.
All right.
Get up to 90.
So
Get up back up to max.
I believe that your temporary HP goes away on a short rest, though.
Yes, but
So,
my
that is
my spell slots return, so that's good.
All right. Now, having rested up.
And my apparition will keep watch throughout the whole rest.
Okay.
Can I run to the washroom real quick?
Yep. Let's go ahead and if anybody needs a break, go ahead and run and get that.
Alright,
Cool.
be back in a second.
Okay.
Good job on that combat, guys.
Yeah.
I was scared for it because, like, the hyenas fucked us up the last time we fought them.
Lars got his first kill in with melee.
Madogi got Morty Bart. Fuck.
Morty Bart.
He bit.
He bit. He bit.
He's a good boy.
He took a monk.
I finally got to use my apparition.
Yep. At long last. I'm sorry, I do very much tend more towards creature monster types rather than humanoid ones, so
Yeah.
I know there's not many opportunities, and then it's a lot is down to like luck of the dice and actually getting that final blow.
Yeah.
So
It's been a while.
A lot of dice, a lot of dice.
Yeah.
I'm glad you've at least gotten the one. We'll see if we can get some more in there by the end of the game, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just we'll see.
Mm.
Seasonal allergies,
Seasonal allergies.
worst things.
Ugh.
I'm a little excited and nervous for this next bit because I'm trying something a little different.
Oh dear.
Ooh, this is gonna be fun.
I'm hoping it's going to be fun. I'm really hoping.
If there's any time to do it, it's when we're leveled up like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like short rest time's good. Like, okay, combat, we can vibe with it.
Yeah.
It was also very satisfying that, except for the glaive, every single attack in that I could have resisted. It's just very satisfying.
Lucky.
Mhm.
Actually, Kane's gonna take time during this short rest to switch to his plate armor.
Sure.
I resisted every bit of damage in that fight, and that was very good.
I need,
I
to
got
throw,
hit, boys.
I need to throw more spellcasters at you guys. You guys are resisting all the physical stuff now. But it's good.
Yeah,
Please don't,
throw more
please don't,
human
please don't.
spellcasters.
It's okay. It's okay. I do, again, tend very much towards the physical attack enemies as well as the monster types, so
Yeah,
you're probably going to be fine.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
because you hate playing casters, right?
John, I'm just curious about something.
What?
What's your max hit points?
92?
How?
I'm not sure.
What's your Constitution modifier?
It's +2.
+2.
Oh, yeah, but also the rituals increase it, because we know I've taken a lot of the physical ones.
that's true.
I have 70 hit points with one physical ritual.
I have 95 with 2.
I
But you have a
also
D10.
did-
He's got a D8.
I know!
Yeah.
He also took it after he had just gotten a level up, so he got more HP than I did.
Yeah.
I have 70 hit points.
Hello.
Really? I went down to 70 hit points that fight.
I have 70 hit points, Conrad.
Jesus.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
The ritual
In that
saw.
case, you all just have a higher armor class than I do, so you won't have to lose as many.
What's your AC?
15.
Not by much, buddy.
Yeah, but Calder, keep in mind, you can also heal 50
Yeah.
HP.
That's
That's
true.
fair, but that also takes an action.
Yeah, that's one action.
Also, after a fight, she can heal it to someone else too.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised at fucking 92.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is I'm okay to target Alaris. I don't have to think of him as squishy.
I mean, at least
Yeah.
think of them as more durable than me.
Yes.
Also,
I'm
I just
more
want
durable.
You happen to be available.
Yeah.
I want to lightly clarify before you're allowed to laugh at knocking my moonbeam out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the apology is.
Unnecessary.
I am very sympathetic sometimes as a DM because I know how it feels from the player side.
That's understandable and appreciated, but at the
Yes.
same time, you could have some fun being the evil villains. I've seen
I mean-
you do that.
Yeah, when she does it, she's quite enjoyable. She quite enjoys herself, to be fair.
Yeah, it's funny to hear the cackle sometimes. Also, Devin, it's okay to fairy fire me.
Oh no, yes,
I mean, if
it's
you're gonna
but it's
verify-
even but it's even better to not verify you. So
Whatever.
yeah, but if you're gonna fairy fire anyone, make it either Kane or Calda. Because Kane at least resists most melee things, and Calda has high dexterity saves.
No, I don't. Meh.
Oh, it's-
Comparably.
It's like a +4, right?
+5, but it's also one of my lower ones.
Well, mine's only a +2.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
my
fucking.
dex is
I
+2.
thought your save DCs, your proficiencies were different.
No, it's a strength of con.
Oh, it is con. Okay.
anyways,
All right. So, you guys conclude your short rest, pack up,
Yeah.
get ready to go.
Well, good to go.
So, we're going to try something. I took inspiration from Critical Role
Of course you did.
when they did that skill check challenge in order to find the Hag's house once upon a time. So, basically, how this works is for each portion of the journey, one person can volunteer a skill check. It can be any skill that you can reasonably justify to me for being of use, for finding your way, for coming across what you're searching for.
Okay.
I've set DCs. A more tenuously connected skill might have a higher DC. Also, each time a skill is repeated, the DC will rise.
Okay.
So you can't just use perception over and over and over and over again with no
On
I have
that
advantage
note,
of perception, by the way.
out of curiosity, what is Alaris's goggles attunement?
Yes.
Okay, just wondering.
What info do we have again on the direction that we're going?
You know that you suspect it to be in a larger concentration of ruins. You know that things were built up around it. Other than that, you don't have a lot to go on.
Can,
However, you
Can-
have some things.
can Kay kind of discuss with the party, like the assumption during the short rest of like, so we should stick to the water, right? If this was a big settlement, they would need water.
Likely,
Assume so.
but still, it's not so much exactly like they could also have it in a position where the capital is moved. It'd probably be a good start to find somewhere on the water, but that could have long worn away, and the remaining parts are where where everything is. I mean, if it's a magical shrine holding great power that they were hoarding, then they might have not put it in the largest, most open city.
Is anybody proficient with nature
Yep.
or survival?
Yep.
Survival.
Anyone with that proficiency can go ahead and make a roll real quick. This isn't related to the skill check challenge. This is just a thought that may occur.
Guidance.
It is a fleeting thought. It's
Alright.
not something focused.
11.
Oh, can anyone do it or just the
Yeah, anybody with nature or survival.
Gotcha.
Nature survival.
Oh.
I'll make the survival check.
All right.
Well then,
Yoicks.
Okay, carry on.
Yep.
I'll just
Alright.
have to rely on sight, using my eyes of the eagle, using perception.
All right. Can skill checks be substituted for things?
In what sort of way?
Actually, hold on. Yep.
Where can we cast a spell?
That way.
I'll say that would help with the skill check,
Okay.
potentially, depending on the skill check and the spell.
Could
But
she
yes.
could she potentially do a spell casting check to kind of push the limits of that spell?
I'll say probably not. Yeah, probably not. At least not in the way of, like, are you trying to do, like, extra miles of radius or something?
Just extra details, things she would potentially
Oh.
maybe get a vague idea of, and more specifics.
Okay, yeah. Potentially for details, yes. But not for anything that has a hard limit, like the mile distance or, yeah.
Basically, as a way for me to still kind of roll on it.
Okay, sure. Well, technically, that would not be your skill check.
Okay.
Your skill check has to be out there, searching.
I mean, she doesn't have to do it just right where they're standing.
Well, no.
Yeah, I'm just meaning like
Hmm.
for going forward more so. Like not this is something she's
Okay.
immediately doing, but for the skill checks coming.
Potentially, yeah. I'll allow it the one time. If you find a position and park yourself and do the skill check, then I'll allow that.
All right.
So should we stick by the river, and those up on the broom can kind of return to us as a home base as you scout out in different directions?
I mean, I suppose, but we should probably all be doing something.
Well, we'll be looking down whichever side you don't go down as we go down the river. You don't have to keep up with us, so.
Very well.
Calder, how fast does your dog move?
He moves fairly fast. 1 second, I'm getting the shirt up. Faster than me, probably faster than you, about 40 feet. Every
How about,
2 seconds, I don't know.
how about you sit on his back on one side of the river? Two up there with the good vision can take the other side. And I'll stick down the middle, and you guys can make sure you return to me as you scout in and out.
Yeah, I'll keep scouting for the location with my eyes.
Okay, so other thing, I guess, numbers wise. Do we want Alsana or Alars to do the perception check?
+5 with advantage.
Plus 10 with the guidance.
Okay.
Higher potential roll is Alsana, because it's DC based. I think Alsana
Yeah.
makes more sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess
Then-
we'll ask here, Ariel, is like what's the payoff for higher and higher than the DC, if any?
No payoff for higher, for blowing the DC out of the water.
Okay.
It is simply upon a certain number of successes, you'll probably find your way. Each failure, however, might introduce a complication and eat up some time.
How about we start with Alaris then? He's less likely to fail, and while the DC is lower, he's more likely
Yeah.
to make it. If we need to repeat it, Alsana can make it because she has a higher chance to make a high DC.
All right, but
Yeah.
then we also have a chance of double failing.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
But we can't afford that.
I'm just saying it's starting with her, and then we wouldn't know it's done if she gets high enough. Whereas if she ends up getting low enough, we have a higher likelihood of Alaris making up the difference. Obviously, we don't know the DC, but
Up to you. It's
Yeah.
6 or 1/2 dozen in this case.
mm,
It's doubling down on success or doubling down on trying to avoid failure. It's results the same thing.
Yeah. So who's going first?
You know what? Okay, because Alsana can probably do other things. Maybe let Alaris do the perception.
Yeah. 18.
All right.
Could Alsana have... that's late. Could Alsana have basically given guidance?
It is a bit late.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say on this one, just try to keep it in mind in
Yep,
the
gotcha.
future.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So, as you guys start to head downriver, various modes of transportation, Kane in the canoe, yes?
Yes, he's just punting along.
Yeah. Calda on one bank, Alaris and Alsana floating on the broom overhead. All right, on an 18. Well, you follow the river for a time until it kind of trickles and seems to almost fall away into an underground reservoir of sorts. The opening isn't big enough to admit the entire canoe or any of you, and there's no real way to follow it further there. You think, though, it might come out further, further along, as from up high, a large, you kind of see a little glimmer of what looks like water, kind of in the distance. So, packing up the canoe, you guys head overland for a while.
Just out of curiosity, Kane's gonna kind of take a piece of rather interesting looking rock, or more likely wood actually. Just make some kind of marking on it, toss it into the river, and just see if he finds it on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, you can grab a chip of wood, put a mark on it, and toss it in. As you walk, trot, and float along, the terrain out here is very monotonous. There are hills, there's ridges, there's trees, there's the occasional wreck of a ruin off to the side or the distance. But it's not readily apparent where various things are. There's no obvious directional markers or anything like that. No landmarks that are hugely apparent. And so it comes to be that after about 3 hours, somehow you guys have managed to go in a bit of a circle. You find yourselves back at where the bit of a river went to a creek, which went underground again. You look
Kane
around,
check his
you find
compass.
the you check your compass and realize that you hadn't been keeping an eye on it for a while, and somehow things did get a little mixed up. Laris looks out, says, "Oh wait, there's the glimmer, and you guys coast a little bit higher. It's a further 2 hours before you actually get to the bit of water that you see in the distance." You look around, you don't see the chip of wood, but you're not sure if that's because it had already come and gone in the time that you were there, because it got caught somewhere, or because this is a different body of water. By this time, it's getting on towards evening. It's not sunset yet. This is getting towards later, middle of summer. The sun is setting later and later in the day, but it's down there. You think this might be about the equivalent of about 6 p.m. or so. As unfortunately, you have not come across a great concentration of ruins that such you would be looking for. Who would like to make the next challenge, and what would you like it to be?
Kane's gonna kind of look down towards the. While they're walking, not just all at once, but try to observe where any kind of animals or hyenas might have been moving along. If they're all going in one general direction. See if there's anything he notices along those lines.
All right.
Hyenas were avoiding the ruins, though.
Yeah, if they're going one way, we know not to go that way. Because if we are at least vaguely following the water and they're still choosing not to go this way, that's probably a good reason for it.
All right. So, as you start to search for tracks, looking through the underbrush, you see signs of kind of various animal life. Not just the hyenas, not just the nearly humanoid marks of the various gnolls, but smaller animals, things that have survived out in this wilderness despite everything. You see signs of perhaps some boar, maybe some hooved prints that are like deer. Plenty of bird tracks and markings. And you kind of start to pick up the general patterns of movement. Of course, the waterways get a lot of attention as they are very necessary to supporting life. But you start to pick up a little bit of, yeah, there's heavier traffic of creatures this way, heading in this direction often. A little bit more on that bank than this one. And slowly, bit by bit, over the next hour or so, you start to pick out a direction. You point off in the direction that seems to see the least amount of traffic, and are reasonably confident that that would perhaps be the most haunted, and perhaps therefore with the highest concentration of buildings, ruins, and lives lost long ago. As that counts as one success.
What did the perception count as?
A failure.
Damn.
That wasn't obvious. So, where have we made it thus far then?
You're just coming up over a ridge, and you're starting to see, true to Kane's word, more and more ruined outlines of buildings. There are some higher hills in this area. The ridges and valleys are sharper and more sudden, but kind of pockmarked among them and between them. You're starting to see more broken pillars, shattered remains of walls, even the occasional flagstone as a foot falls just a little bit harder than the admittedly rocky soil usually gives. Who wants to take the next check? And what would you like it to be?
Can Asana attempt her... I don't know if you'll let me try this. Could she use her commune with nature?
Mm-hmm.
And could she attempt to basically burn up her speech beyond the grave to really focus on death, ghosts, and things of that sort?
Is your speech beyond a grave something that renews on a short rest?
Yes.
Okay. You know what? That's interesting. I'll say if you burn that and commune with nature, and make a skill check, however, the DC might be just a little bit lower, because you are burning some resources for it.
Alright. Yep, and she goes, alright, I can give at least a bit of a ping out, see how it goes. And she'll sit down, set up the ritual, and do her best to listen to the slight sounds she hears sometimes.
Okay. So, commune with nature. Usually it's a 3-mile radius. Usually it's just knowledge of 3 facts of your choice. Terrain, bodies of water, plants, minerals, animals, or peoples, or powerful beings of certain kinds or influence from other planes or buildings. Okay.
So if she can kind of mix and mash those for large amounts of ruins, influence from the ethereal, and undead.
Okay. Go ahead and make your spell casting check.
Alright. I believe this should have a +6 because of the luck stone. If it doesn't, it should. And she will do a guidance on herself as well.
Okay.
12.
All right. As you try to force these disparate sorts of spells together, you're basically sitting there and pulling at strands in a web, trying to tie knots in them, weave them together, make braids. And for a while, the whispers start to rise. All right. In the back of your mind, you start to hear echoes. And they turn into cries. And this turns into a resounding call, almost from the earth itself, of danger. Just then, as you shift your weight in a bit of a startle due to the suddenness and force of this shout, you feel the ground give way beneath you as a sinkhole suddenly opens up. For the sake of this, who was standing closest to Alsana as she did this ritual?
Alaris, probably.
Alaris? Sorry?
I think Colt will be on the other side. Sorry, are we still on the river?
You're just a little bit off of it. Kane's advice actually took you a bit away from the waterway itself. But it's windy enough you might come across it again.
Yeah, then Calder may be closer to her at that point then.
Alright. Calda and Ilaris, both of you make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Here's mine.
20.
Here is... Should I make one for Dogi?
No, we'll say Doggy was over on the side, sniffing around and kind of chasing a squirrel.
Okay.
Alright, Ilaris, you feel the ground start to give way, and you manage to throw yourself backward onto safety. Calda, unfortunately, as you try to jump away, perhaps trying to grab Alsana at the same time, you find yourself on too poor footing. And as the sinkhole collapses, you and Alsana fall down a good 40 feet into this hill. So both of you take 15 bludgeoning damage. As the dirt and rocks rain down around you, you come to rest almost half buried in this debris. Small trees have fallen with you, larger boulders. There is a bit of a slope leading upwards, but it'll be a struggle to get them out. Ilaris and Kane, you are standing on firm ground a little bit further away in Kane's portion and looking down on this, as apparently the ground was a little more unstable than expected.
Kane's just gonna yell out to them like, "You guys alright?"
Yeah, I'm good, but
Ow!
you okay?
I'm fine. Alsana?
She just has this, like, dejected look on her face, like, yeah, sure.
Okay, let's...
Anything broken on you?
Nothing broken now. I'm fine. Just... Oh, my back just hurts. That's it. Come on. Let's try and get up
She just
Here.
kind of, like, sits there for a second.
here. And Calda, while she's just sitting there, Calda's just quickly tying some rope around Alsana's waist. And Calda's gonna start climbing up while also hoisting Alsana up on the other side.
Alright.
Just as this is happening, she before Calda even like starts going up, she just kind of sighs, gives a whistle, and the broom comes.
The broom comes drifting down, comes to rest beside you. You're able to mount up and bring Calda up with you.
Sometimes I forget we have easier solutions to some problems. Thank you. And
Had
her
it.
Calder's gonna lay on hands Alsana and herself as well.
For 15. 15.
All of it, yeah. You're all healed up.
All right. You guys might have time for one last check in this day as it's starting to get late. The sun is heading steadily towards the horizon. You might have a good hour left of light.
Sorry in advance. I'm prefacing this with not a lot of mental stats, but Cult is going to try and channel maybe burning a spell slot with like detect magic, trying to extend it out, seeing if she can get any inklings of any stronger magics going around.
Okay. And Alsana pats you on the shoulder with guidance.
It's appreciated.
Go ahead and make your spellcasting check and drop the spell slot.
Okay, spellcasting check, charisma.
Okay.
18.
All right. 18 is exactly the DC I set since you've burned a resource. So that is another success.
Okay.
Calda, you, guided by the very nature-oriented power of Alsana's magic, you delve into a sense of magic. Of course, each of your party members and yourself, your equipment, light up. But you focus and force yourself to look beyond that. The area immediately around you seems fairly quiet, magically speaking. But that's only when you're looking for that focused, heavy spark and glow of a magical item, of a spell in place. Beyond that, there's almost a blanketing hum, a quiet shimmer in the air, almost invisible, more like a heat wave than an aura. A faint residue of some sort of power that has seeped into the land over so many hundreds of years. You turn a slow circle in place, putting your feet down very carefully, newly aware of the dangers of the landscape. Until finally, something about the heat wave, the shimmer, catches your attention. And like a mirage, you think you see something. It's off in the distance. You have further walking to go, but you have a solid direction. And at least something of an idea of what you're looking for. As you stop looking through the lens of the magical spell, and you look through your physical eyes. And off in the distance, you see a tall mound-like hill, capped by trees, surrounded by a few more, the faintest shimmer of water at its base. And you think, that way. On, around, beside that hill, somewhere. That's where your goal is.
Okay. Calder just sort of looks in that direction, just motions Bart, Morty, words to go a bit forward, sends Owl up too to start scouting out that area and getting there a little bit quicker than the rest of us as we catch up.
It's going to be several miles walk. It is in the distance.
Big oof. Okay, then
Yeah.
those two are just checking for danger.
Okay. However, it is getting late. Again, you might be able to walk for about an hour. You get closer to the hill, but you're not there yet, before it gets dim and dark enough that you could push onwards. You have dark vision, but night has arrived. Whether you want to set camp or keep walking, let me know.
Well,
How are you guys feeling? It's been a long day.
has been, but I'm good to keep going. But
You can keep going for
I-
maybe
a few more hours.
extra hour, 2 past sundown, past the dark. We can all see at this point.
To expect our rest to be uninterrupted.
That's a true question.
I'd say if we're gonna rest, we do it far away from, what do they call it? The City of Ghosts. I can't imagine that'll be more fun when we're trying to sleep.
Here it is then. Also, I just kind of like slumps over.
Okay,
Right.
not gonna look around and be like, we don't have any sort of magical fanciness from anyone, do we?
Not for that sort of thing.
No.
Alright, I'll set up the tent, son.
I'll help you out.
All right. You find a little alcove, comfortable enough, surrounded by some trees and brush. You're pretty sure that there's no ruin too close. And you're able to set up camp. So, for the sake of a long rest, how would you like to do your watches?
Kane will
I'm
take
gonna
first.
let. Oh, because I wanted to have the apparition do like until Alaris rested. So
Oh, sure.
Alaris will go first and sort of wear out the time, so he'll not only have perception but also have the aid of the apparition first, and then rest, and that'll be the first shift hopefully.
And I'll have Kane take the last shift in that case, the early morning one.
Yeah.
God, they can take middle.
If Alsana's free, she is going to, if she can, basically, she's going to cast Pass Without Trace on herself, with the Unicorn Wand costing nothing, and then Wild Shape.
Okay.
She'll do a owl, raven, something with good perception.
Nice.
All right. This would be on your watch.
She's not having a watch if there's the three of them are taking it.
Oh, okay.
This is like the first hour, basically during Alaris's watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
She wants to give a quick search and fly around, and with the assumed kind of dark vision of the owl, she, if she can, wants to check around for flora and fauna that are magically influenced in any way, or just anything that is kind of telling of the way they're going.
All right.
If
Go ahead.
it's not going to count towards the skills, that's fine. If she's looking for
Yeah.
regions, that's fine. But either
Yeah.
or.
I'm not counting it towards the skills, because I see this as kind of a side jaunt you're doing, sort of.
All right.
More point of interest than anything else. Go ahead and I'm gonna call this a nature check because it's more an investigation and identification of various plants,
All right.
I believe.
Proficiencies with wild shape don't carry over, right?
No, they do.
They do.
Completely. Yeah, you keep your mental stats. You retain benefits of features from your class, race, or other sort.
All right.
You just can't use special senses unless your new form has that sense.
All right. So nature check.
You're keeping your mind. You're keeping your Alsonanus. All right, 20. You come to realize that not all of the trees in this area, but quite a few of them, you keep finding patches where a lot of the oldest trees seem to be growing in rows. There are a number of fruit-bearing trees. They're not bearing anything right now. They're kind of in that in-between stage after spring and the flowering and before the flowers have really started to turn into fruits and those sorts of produce.
But it seems the
Uh,
remain of an orchard.
Seems that it once upon a time, long ago, was constructed as such. A sign of civilization long lost, as much as any ruin.
Does she happen to,
Indication of the outskirts, perhaps, of a city or a town or a settlement.
does she happen across any like small ruins of like farming houses or anything like that?
Perhaps if you rove far enough in this nightly fly.
She's taking the hour basically. That pass without trace goes. Actually, she could do it twice because she can wild shape twice.
I'll say there's a couple of spots kind of on the verges of where the rows give way to a little bit more of a chaotic jumble of trees, where you see the footprint of what was once a foundation. Small, kind of on its own. Possibly once a storehouse or a farmhouse. A keeper of the orchard, perhaps.
After a while, she'll return.
All right.
Does no one notice the fact she's gone for a whole ass hour?
Oh, Alaris is awake, so Alaris, you might, but she did cast Pass Without a Trace on herself, and she does tend to sleep in a different tent than you. So,
Yeah.
He might see as he's kind of drifting off an owl, like a jet black owl, will fly in and into her form.
Alaris, while Alsana is gone, I need you to make a quick charisma saving throw.
Oh, that's something. 19.
You feel a shiver up your spine, but nothing else.
I don't like this.
Beside you, your specter makes a sharp movement, like it's batting something out of the air. Nothing else for the remainder of your watch, though.
Don't like that.
At least you pass the save, hopefully.
Alright, with that, your watch passes.
Yep.
Who was up second? Kane, I believe?
Kane's doing
No,
morning,
it's going
Calda's
last.
doing middle.
Calda's in the middle. Alright.
So
Calder,
Calder might
you get
catch Alsana coming back too.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Alright, Calda, go ahead and give me your perception check.
I'm doing Mori. Much better perception. 11.
Alright. With your owl keeping watch in the trees, you kind of stare into the dimly lit darkness through your goggles of night. You feel your mind drift occasionally to perhaps questions of maybe who lived here once. Who was familiar with this land long ago? Who walked these grassy plains that is long forgotten? It's sort of a melancholy thought, but it stays with you as you pass your watch uneventfully. Kane, go ahead and give me your perception for your final watch. As you
Quite
head
the ominous
into
title.
as you head into the last dark hours before the gray pre-dawn arrives.
11.
Much like Calda, you look out into the darkness, perhaps pace a little bit to keep yourself awake and moving. To warm yourself, as though the days are getting warmer as summer arrives, the mornings and the nights are still quite cool. There is dew forming on the grass, making your boots wet at the ankles. You don't see anything of importance or of event during your watch. Finally, morning comes. With the dawn, you wake your companions, break camp, break fast, and the day begins. So, who wants the next skill check, and what would you like it to be?
Check what I'm preparing today real quick if there's anything else.
Yeah.
That as well.
let's check
Prepared
this.
spellcasters, do what you need to do.
If no one else chooses to, kind of ahead of Kane. Just if no one else has anything else to do.
I'm
This one's a bit of a reach.
I'm checking. I'm checking.
Can I?
Give me a second.
Sorry, could I channel my Hexblade's curse and speak to Xanthus about where to go?
Very interesting. All right.
Would you like to curse a city? What?
Just channel the energies of the Hexblade's curse into having a
All right.
yeah,
Um,
having a
it's-
conversation.
It's a bit of a stretch because that is something covered very much by another spell in Contact Other Plane, which you don't have.
Yeah.
However, it is interesting, and it isn't quite the same. So,
Yeah.
I won't reduce, if you went with it, I won't reduce the DC as much as I did for some of the others
Okay.
in order to make up for the bit of a stretch. However, it will be slightly lower than the base DC that I'm tending to base things around.
Does Alaris
Okay.
relay any of this to the party?
It is something he could just kind of go off on his own
Could
and
I feasibly persuade Xanthus into talking using the Hexblade's curse as a catalyst?
Your spellcasting modifier is charisma, so it would actually just be a charisma check.
Okay.
But more or less, if you want to flavor it that way,
Yeah, so just use persuasion then?
it would just be a persuasion check. Are you just kind of sitting down and doing this as camp is broken?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and give me your roll.
I have
26.
Yep, you have guidance, but
Yep, no.
all right. So, while channeling the energy of your curse, holding it within yourself without a target to actually place it on, you just run it in a loop through your mind and through your chest, over and over. And with each pass, it seems to gather up more of something: magic, intent, your thoughts, until finally you feel like you're holding a thrumming rope of energy inside yourself, tied in a loop, ever revolving. And then finally you spool that loop together, tighter into a ball, until finally it snaps. You open your eyes, and you see a facsimile of the campsite. The fallen log, the tents halfway broken down, but no sign of your companions, and a gray mist covers everything. Further trees are shrouded and completely lost in it. You look around, and you see the faint purple lamp glow out of the corner of your eye as Xanthus approaches. Lantern swinging from his staff, the beaked mask gleaming with the little bits of light that swing and sway. And he looks down at you and says, "Creative and interesting.
I've never really been one to ask you for favors, but we've been trying to look uh, for the shrine within the Howling Plains, and many have told us that we haven't much chance of surviving, but I feel the odds are somewhat in our favor.
You have come close already. You know the way. Now you only need a final beacon to guide you. You see him reach over to the lantern. He opens the hatch on the side. And then he reaches a hand inside the space of the lantern itself, curls his fingers around something, and draws them out. He opens the hand, and a little purple flame hovers above the palm. For a second it flickers in the air, mist curling around it. And he flicks a finger, and it shoots forward into your chest. You feel a warmth there pulsing beside your heart, beating in time with it but separate. It's strange, but in a way, comforting. When you draw near, follow it. It will lead you to your goal. I offer this aid only this once. You cannot call on me in this way again. Use it well and wisely. Go.
Okay.
There is a blood on this land that must be rid. And you will cleanse it. You and your companions. Do this in my name.
Lars nod.
The beaked mask nods back. And though your eyes are already open, you open your eyes. You see your companions breaking down camp. Everything is as it was. There is no mist in the air. But you still feel that faint, fiery heartbeat thudding along with your own.
And so,
You know...
sorry, what was that?
You know from Calda the direction that you need to head. And from Kane as well. And now you have the final piece of the puzzle.
Cool. So he'll just start to walk in the general direction and follow his heart, I guess. Heart flame, I guess.
Everybody else, you see Alaris get up and start walking.
Where are you off to?
I think I found the final piece of the puzzle. At least that's what he tells me.
Oh, why didn't we think to ask a god sooner? Alright, let's go.
He's given you directions?
He says, yeah, I suppose so. He's doing this favor for me just this once. Because he needs us.
Can Kane between his Alaris's and Alsanda's directions kind of key it into his compass and make sure they follow a pretty direct route?
I've not given directions, I've done shit. It's called in Alaris here.
Oh, sorry, call down Alaris. Just gonna like set it into his navigator's tool so we don't get off track again.
You've got a bit of a landscape mark to go by. Large hill in the distance. Closer now, after the
Yeah.
bit of walk that you did last night. And drawing closer all through the morning. But yes, you are
Yes.
able to keep everybody on course.
Yes, so I'm just following in the general direction that Kane and Calda sort of staked out, and
Yep.
Trying to see if there's any changes within the flicker that he put into my chest.
For a long while, there is no change for you, Elaris. As you draw closer to the hill, though, you start to see more and more ruined remains of buildings. These ones seem larger from the spread of the foundations, more numerous than the occasional smaller buildings you've come across before. You start to even see some walls that are still standing, some with trees curled over them, growing through them, others half buried in the earth. Comment in the chat.
Thank you.
As you get closer to the mound, just a curiosity thing. Anybody who wants to roll nature may do so.
You know
At
what?
a
For
minus
fun.
one.
This
I'm good.
guidance or no?
No guidance. This is just a passing
26.
Alright.
I think you're okay without the guide.
Passing a
Just maybe.
Yeah, but guides have been
Yeah.
doing plenty well up until this point.
But she could get a 30.
Maybe all the time.
Alright. Alsana, you are the one who kind of notices this as you go along. Though hills and ridges have been aplenty throughout this region, for all that they are plains, there are the occasional changes in the landscape. This hill seems almost sudden, out of place. It almost seems to have just appeared there. Some buildings, as you get to the base of it, seem to trail into it, half swallowed. And the thought comes to you that this hill did not come to be here by any natural means. Magic made this. Nature has reclaimed it and made it her own. But she wasn't the source.
Alsana, she'll just kind of like put a hand up for the bar to maybe slow down a second. Just that hill is not. It's not naturally occurring.
What do you mean?
It's overgrown, but
Huh.
I mean, it's not out of the possibility of the ancient society of great magical power, probably siphoning stuff off of the well. Any of you care to spare 11 minutes?
At this
suppose.
point, Elaris, the little thumping glow in the chest suddenly leaves, and all of you see a stream of purple fire out of the chest, hovering maybe 10 feet in front of you, in the direction of the hill, pulsing slightly in midair.
Oh,
He's gonna slowly inch towards the flame.
You get within 5 feet of it, and it disappears and reappears another 10 feet away.
that wasn't my fire from yesterday, right?
No, this was mine.
Well, as I said, it's leading us well enough, but I have a hunch. I want to... We know where it is on a map now, but I need to check something. I want to see if it's underground or not, if we're delving into something, and how deep.
Okay.
Can Alzana sit down for a ritual commune with nature?
All right. As long as everybody's willing to wait.
Yeah.
Yep.
He'll keep an eye on the purple flame in the meantime.
All right. It just kind of dances for those 11 minutes in the same spot, unless you move towards it, in which case it flickers and moves further. If you move back, it dances closer.
She wants to check and if basically like focus her mile into that, like forward ahead of where they are. She wants to know about any underground structures.
All right. And you get a very affirmative sense back of one large structure in particular. A few smaller ones. Some half in, half out of the hill. But there is definitely something beneath the hill, and the something extends up to the very top of it.
How far below?
Pretty much to not quite to the same ground level you stand on. It seems there was once a bit of a slope going up normally,
Okay.
but somewhat above.
Alright.
Hard to gauge. Maybe like 30, 40 feet up.
Alright. I mean, you might as well at this point. Powerful undead?
Yes.
Alright. And influences from other planes.
Nothing specific. There is a sense of death itself around this area, but nothing as concrete as the Shadowfell has touched this or anything like that.
Doesn't feel anything like the mimic house from before.
No. Just death.
Alright. She just kind of breathes out after a moment and just... Well, I am... It doesn't go too far down, but it does rise all the way up to the crest of the earth that is risen up. There's a few entrances around it, and the undead are for sure in there. The whole thing reeks of death, and death that has a stubbornness to it.
Hmm.
Oh, gross.
Didn't
I take
mention
this
a
is,
bullet, right?
This is where we think the rituals meant to be taking place.
This is our best guess at a shrine. There's a shrine in the Howling Plains. It's based on a society. It would have had to have been a powerful society to build anything like this. She got like gestures to the hill, because this isn't natural.
Well, hopefully we don't have to fight whatever built it. And Alaris said you're, how do you refer to him? Your magic
Patron?
father? Your patron?
Don't call him that.
No? Crossbow daddy.
No, don't call him that.
Alright. He said he wanted us to take care of this thing and all the dead shit inside.
He does have a strong dislike for undead.
Think of him as his bird-faced uncle.
Alright, that's a good term for
Sure.
it. Well, time to enter, I guess.
I suppose, and he'll keep following the flame to
I've-
the what I assume is the hill.
As they're walking, just out of curiosity, Alsana will just not walk off from the party, but just slightly away so things are a bit more quiet, and she's just gonna give it a listen, see what she's hearing.
You hear the rise and fall of voices as if they were an ocean beneath your feet.
She'll continue on.
All right. The flame leads you up the hill. It's a hard climb at points. There are no roads or pathways leading up this. Whatever caused this never built any infrastructure to get about it. As it goes up, you don't see as many ruins on the climb. Seems you've left them behind until you get to the very apex itself. And then, at the top, you see a ring of stones and brickwork. A larger ring, some steps up to a smaller one, and within that smaller one, you can see the remnants of paving of some kind, or perhaps a rooftop, still of stone. In the center of that, a circular stone hatch, still intact after all this time. And as you get up to that point, the heart of flame stops right above that circular stone, flickers for a second, and then fades away, rippling into etherealness.
Yes.
and is gone.
Guess this is where we're supposed to be.
Looks to be.
Well, let's hope so, and if not, maybe there'll be something fun down there. There's like a really cool party going on or something.
I guarantee you not.
Maybe
On
a
that
really
party.
cute ghost dog.
I like living dogs.
The aberrant mutterings and gibberings of the dead rise and fall like the waves on an ocean right now.
Cute ghost fish. Or a ghost mermaid. Oh, that'd be cool.
Do not disrespect the large scale of loss of life that is here.
What?
Difference between disrespect and humor aside, let's get diving.
Many are dead, many are listening. She walks forward.
As you do, there is a noticeable swell in the whispers, almost a stirring. The stone looks heavy. There are the rusted remains of hinges on one side, but it doesn't look like they're going to move without some encouragement.
Well, Stonehead. She gestures. Gain.
Called unmanned.
Yep, let's go.
Alsana guides his Galda.
Alrighty.
Okay,
She just like taps on the shoulder. Be sure to outdo him.
Calda, just before you two, no roll yet. Just as you're setting your fingers under the stone and getting ready to heave, Alsana, you hear it first in the whispers. Alaris, you feel it next to shiver up your spine, and a tensioning, as if something in you is reacting before you know what is there. There's a scraping sound from behind you. You look over. You see something pulling itself up from the stones. Humanoid in shape, but gaunt. Horrible. Its face is almost a parody of the living. It's crawling towards the steps and towards all of you. Another sound, and you see another tottering from another direction, dragging itself from the underbrush where it had lain, caked in dirt and
Alsana
moss
starts
and
to
grass.
Load up.
1 second. As you do, just barely off the ground, you see another and another and another pulling itself up and dragging itself towards you. How are we feeling for combat, or should we leave it here? It is late.
I leave you the judge of how long it'll take. I'm okay.
It's fairly small scale. I think you'll get it quickly. However, if anybody's tired and would rather leave this till next week, we can do so.
For once, I got good sleep last night. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
John?
As you see, John, you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm good with this.
Okay. As you see, a
Good.
small collection of ghasts and ghouls dragging themselves towards you. Let's go ahead and get the initiative going.
Alright.
Well, if Calda wants to
Yeah.
take a shove action as the first thing.
Lars still has it in great axe form.
Wait, why would I think there's no one in melee? What?
You have guidance.
Oh. Oh.
Let me make sure I've got the right tokens. Yes,
Also, you
that's
can-
that one. Oh
Music.
dear. Yep, I will get it in a second. I'm just trying to get some creature initiatives going.
There we go. 15. Oh. Oh, I accidentally clicked twice. That was an accident.
It should be your first one, or unless it replaced. Hold on. Where are you?
Alaris isn't going to the tracker.
Ilaris isn't on the tracker.
Did you click your
Here.
token?
I did.
Yeah, who wouldn't let him roll without it?
Here, let me just. I'll add you to it. I'll put you on 15.
Yeah.
We've got it sorted. All right. Speaking of sorting, descending.
I think for once, all different numbers. Yeah.
Looks like. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and switch this over.
Maybe I'll get to finally use my necrotic resistance.
That'll be fun.
Or we'll get stunned to shit.
All
Yeah,
right.
double-edged sword.
It looks like the ghasts are up first. Okay. They start to pull themselves up and over the stones. This one can get up to Calda. This one can get up to Kane. This guy has a bit of a distance to go, and there's a bit of a gap. He can, I'll say he can just barely get up to you, Alaris. All right, with that, turn. They've got one attack, and let's see. You know what? Each one is just going to go for a bite. So, in order, Calda.
Nope.
7. Kane, 14.
Nope.
And Ilaris, 18.
I think John's having connection issues.
All right.
Ooh, I'll get a sheet up. He's not in the roll 20.
Oh no. Ah.
Like,
Where's
I
the
don't
letter?
know what letters are. I have his sheet up. I think 18 hits, though. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Here's this person just take 7.
Thank you. Okay, I got it for him.
All right.
Oh my god.
Oh, you're back. Good. You just took 7 piercing damage as this particular ghast bitten you.
Wait, no.
No
Is it?
further effects.
Okay, so is it considered magical?
It is not.
Okay.
These things are physical.
I took the damage off for you, John. You
Okay.
weren't in the roll 20 when it happened.
Yeah, it's halved.
I know, I put it in half.
Okay, good.
Okay. With that, I believe Calda is up next.
Okay. A little bit of a dumbass and visualization completely off. Are we higher up or is the grass higher up?
You're just a little bit higher up.
Okay. Either way, I'm gonna hit the guy in front of me. Okay. Let's do just great sword 1. It's a 19. And let's do 2.
Oh, with the big numbers.
Oh,
32
yeah.
damage. I think.
12 and 3, 15, 32. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a lot. He is still standing, but just barely.
Okay. Okay, bonus action. I'm not gonna do anything just yet because these guys all look okay, and it's a desperate thing. But no, I think I'm good.
All right.
We're
Elaris.
Alright, cool. These are undead, so I can cut loose. I am going to Branding Smite as my bonus action,
Okay.
and I am going to do 2 Great Axe attacks.
Sounds good. That'll hit, and so will that one.
And
So,
then the
okay.
15 radiant damage on the first one.
Yep. It doesn't seem to be vulnerable to radiant, but it is good. 15, 11, and 12. Math. 38.
38.
Yep.
Oh, how do you want to do that?
I want the first one to sort of explode into his clavicle, and then I want just to circle back and then just. Yeah, and then just yeah.
All right, and they don't seem to have anything like zombies where they pop back up, so that one is just down. Oh, wait. I did forget one thing.
Oh.
You started your turn within 5 feet of it. Give me
Yes.
a Constitution saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Technically, Calden needed to do this as well, but
Do you
we'll just
want me
go
to
ahead
do
and
it?
do it. Yeah, we'll just do it in hindsight. You're fine. 23, you're fine.
Okay.
As just the stench of these things is overwhelming for a moment, but you gag and push past it. Is that it for you, Elaris?
Yes.
Kane. Thank you. You're fine.
Alright, and he will just float the sword one-handed, his shield on the other, and just get the chopping.
Okay. Yeah, 19 hits.
He'll follow with a second one.
14 also hits.
And
All right, 25.
bonus action.
Mhm.
Lantern shield.
And 11, unfortunately, does miss.
Someday.
No.
You've already done it. You have killed something with that lantern shield.
Oh, that's right. He's got like a single scratch mark on the inside of it, counting his kills with it.
All right. Unfortunately, this day you will not add another scratch, at least not on that attack.
Not yet.
Not yet. Anything else on your turn?
He's gonna circle around to the edge of the circle there.
Okay. All right, with that, the ghouls. They have 30 feet of movement, so let's go ahead and do them. They cannot quite reach you. This one, however, can get right up to Alsana. The others, oh, that one's going to be a little bit low, but could swing at Kane's ankles. All right. So we're going to do the two that have a chance of attacking. Kane, honestly, at this point, take half cover just because it's an awkward position that they're reaching from. But they're
Okay.
not actually swinging with anything. They're like, this one's going to claw at you. So, +2 to your AC. That's a miss.
Oh.
I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
Alsana,
Disadvantage.
disadvantage because of the cloak. It's going to go ahead and also attempt to claws. Nope. The others are pretty much going to waste action dashing to get up close to anyone at all. However, Alsana, Calda, you are getting a little bit surrounded here.
Oh, really spoil me.
All right. That is their turn. Alsana, what would you like to do?
Let's see how this works out. Yeah, Alsana is going to cast Wall of Fire.
Okay.
Someone wants to mark
Oh.
that out real quick?
Let me get a draw tool going. Polygon.
Reading a straw.
Get fire. Go ahead and mark that for me again, please.
Is it not still there?
Oh, it went away.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay,
It went away just a second ago.
like so.
All right. It is marked.
Right. Also,
Warrior.
she'll have moved just over to there. Not there. Such that it's not hurting her. Right. So anything. Each creature in the area must make a dexterity save.
Okay. So let's see. That is 2 ghasts. Dexterity save. 1, 2. Fail and success. So if I go kind of counterclockwise. And then 3 ghouls. Similarly counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Fail, success, fail.
All right.
So, damage, please.
25 fire damage to everyone.
Okay. That
Wall of
actually
fire.
takes that out.
And she will throw a that
Actually, that is
Harvest Scythe.
that one was barely standing. Even though it's saved, it died.
all right.
This one succeeded, so half the damage, 25.
Sorry, did you say it was wall of fire?
Yep.
Also?
15.
Yep. So anything within 5 feet of it ends its turn there.
Yeah, I just missed the name.
Like a string of fireworks. Boosh, 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 boosh. One gets away with some heavy singeing,
All right.
but you have exploded 4 of them into ash.
Could I throw a harvest scythe on that one? Halved?
Sure, go for it.
I'm just curious. 4 to 2.
All right. It looks a little bit worse as the scythe suddenly shoots out of the wall of fire next to it and catches it with a little extra flame. But it's still standing.
And then she's gonna float up.
Okay, the ghasts are actually all dead. However, before your turn, Calda, suddenly shimmering into visibility, you see a pair of ghostly figures hovering in midair.
Uh-oh.
However, it is their action in order to come back from the border ethereal.
I've been trying to remember that
or rather,
name
the ethereal.
so long.
Sorry, they were in the ethereal because they were not visible. However, it did take an action for them to come out of it. So it's not going to have any other action. It's just kind of hovering in place, each one of them. Calda, you've got a couple of burning husks behind you, a wall of fire curving around you, but it's a little warm.
A little toasty. I'll take out the first ghoul, hopefully, the one right under me to the south. 16. Damage.
Yeah, absolutely. You carve through this thing as it's still kind of flailing and reeling from the fire.
Mhm.
It practically walks into your sword.
Okay. And
Just don't end
What's
your
that?
turn 5 feet from it.
no, don't worry. I forgot what I was gonna say. What does it take to like flip up the lantern of revealing and just boosh it? Because to call to these things were invisible, not in the ethereal plane. What would that take?
Well, it says it takes an action to lower the hood, so
Okay.
it takes a bonus act. The lantern wasn't lit though.
No, that's why, because I gotta ignite
yeah.
and that stuff. That'd be like an entire turn.
That's probably an action to do.
We'll do it later. It's fine. I have another attack. Oh, I have another attack. I'm probably not going to use that other attack, honestly. But I'm going to vibe to... Is this any raised or lowered, or am I already standing on it? Or is it just nice?
Sorry,
visualize- The thing in the middle. My visualization skills are very off, so I don't know heights right now. The thing in the middle, is it like higher, lower, same, just looking kind of vibing?
the thing in the middle is like a couple of inches.
Okay.
That's the stone circle that you guys were about.
Okay. Then just run across to here.
Okay. Hey, Laura.
Yes, that's it.
I believe it's your
Okay.
turn.
So these are ghouls, yeah. Ghasts, right?
There is one ghoul left and a couple of ghosts.
Couple of ghosts. Okay. And this is just a crack in the wall?
Mhm.
Can I feasibly pass through it, or...
You could. It'd take a little hop down, but you could do
Yeah.
so.
Ghosts are floating, right?
They are floating up above the wall here, though.
Okay.
Yeah, this... Sorry, I probably should have specified. This thing is probably a good, 10, 15 feet in the air, so is this above the wall itself.
Above the wall itself. Okay. Then I'm going to throw a couple Eldritch Blasts at it.
Sounds like a good plan.
So 2 Eldritch Blasts. Ooh.
Okay. Surprisingly, both hit.
Hey!
All right. That's 11.
11 points of force damage.
Okay.
Calm down.
Is that it for your turn?
Yeah.
All right, you shoot out 2 eldritch blasts, and the ghost seems to like take impacts from them, but doesn't seem super phased. Still floating there with a horrible expression of almost cold fury and desperation on its face. Kane,
Poor thing.
All right. Kane is going to attack the ankle biter near him.
go for it.
Is he allowed to make the shield attack between his first and second attack on his turn, or no?
Yep, you can always do a bonus action between your attacks.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yep, that hits. The lantern shield. Oh, actually, yeah, that is just barely its armor class, 12.
Yeah! Does it
2
kill?
damage. No, it doesn't kill it.
Worth a shot. Second attack.
18 hits, 10 slashing. It's barely holding on.
Is it too late to say superiority dice?
As long as the superiority die is on an attack that hits or something like that, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, that's the wrong thing to click. No one needs to be repositioned, so he will do it as a. I have too many. Push. Oh, come on!
1 damage. Let's see, that's a strength saving throw. Or be pushed up to 15 feet. They're not strong. They're strong.
They're strong enough. Okay.
Strong enough. You give it a shove, and it kind of sways backwards, but then sways back forwards.
He's just like looking at it like, ugh, okay, gross.
And there's just a and it
that's
splashes
okay.
forward with the claws, because I believe that's your turn.
Yep.
All right, and it's next. So it slashes with the claws. That misses it. They
going to-
rake across your boots and your armor.
Fuck this thing. He's gonna riposte.
Go ahead and make your yeah. As it's scraping and scrabbling at your feet, you just look down and jam the sword downward in the back of its neck.
Just gonna like shake the boot off, trying to get whatever
Shunk.
gunk was off of it.
All right, Alsana.
Asana. Asana's gonna float on down to the ground this time. Over to here. She's still on the broom, so she's not like touching the ground in case the fucking hatch falls out under her or something. But she's gonna stay there, and she's going to. Yeah, let's just do a Sacred Flame at the floaty guy.
All right, which one?
It's,
North or south?
let's do south. That one was hurt already.
Okay. Go ahead.
Dexterity save for him.
Yeah, it takes 10 radiant damage.
Or a scythe.
Go for it.
You know what? She'll do 2.
Okay. So a total of 24 damage. Ooh. All right. That one seems to resonate with more impact than the Eldritch Blasts had before. At first, not much, but then the scythes come through and just whiff right through the form. And for a second, it's like in 3 pieces. And then it sort of forms back together, but it kind of opens its mouth and screams. The scream resonates in the back of your head, Alsana,
Yep. Of course it
as you
does.
seem to hear it on 2 levels.
In stereo.
Mm-hmm.
She has a bonus action. Let me check something real quick. Nope, it's an action. Just controlled as bonus action. In which case, is anyone hurt?
Kane's good.
All right.
Laura's good.
All right. That'll be your turn. Actually, she might move just
Okay.
one over to Calda.
All right. So with that is the ghost's turn. Let's see. A couple of things they could do. The question is what they'll go for.
Hopefully they don't have breath weapons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. However, the one to the north, kind of floats higher up in the air and throws its head back. And you can see suddenly this ethereal bleeding gash in its throat as suddenly splayed out in the air an utterly horrifying appearance as it screams out. Each non-undead creature within 60 feet, wisdom saving throw.
Oh, to the two people at 10 feet. Here you go.
Mhm.
That's why I moved over.
You were already 10 feet. Oh no!
Okay. I'm sorry. Roll 1d4.
Yep.
Alsana, you're immune because you can't be frightened.
Ah.
Kane, you are frightened for 1 minute, and you've aged 20 years in the span of a second.
Yep.
Oh,
How this appears on you, I'll leave to you to describe.
sudden aging.
What is it with the weird parallels between sessions at this point?
Yeah.
I'm
It's
so
really
sorry.
balanced week by week.
You know, I threw this at you going, yeah, the DC's low, you guys will be fine.
Kane has a +1.
So, I'm guessing a little more gray hair?
Probably a little more gray hair, and probably you see a lot of the kind of padding of the muscular structure immediately almost shrivel, leaving that kind of like ropey looking strength to him.
Alright. And this other ghost, badly injured now by a combination of Eldritch Blasts and Sacred Flames, swoops over to you all on your lonesome. Frightened, pressed against the bricks and the stone. And it
Quite
reaches
confused
out
as well.
and lays a hand on you. The hand passes into your arm. Make a charisma saving throw. You just make it.
Just make it. Oh
You
my
make it.
god.
No
You
fun.
feel.
I
you
was saving
feel
my
the
indomitable
cold.
for that one.
Yep, you feel the cold run through you, and for an instant, in your fear, you think, this is it. This is it. I'm about to be consumed. I'm about to be overwhelmed. But you hold on to yourself, and something in you pushes the ghost away.
Yeah, if Kane got possessed, that would have been bad.
It would have been
Yeah.
bad.
He's resistant to most of y'all's damage.
The
Well,
ghost
Not
remaining there.
not
hovering.
mine's considered magical.
Oh, that's right.
So, hot question. With Aura of Courage, if I move into 10 feet with someone, does the fear go away?
I believe that the fear is suppressed.
Okay.
If you end up moving away, then it'll come back. It doesn't like erase it.
Okay, because Ty is aware of these two and their wisdom and like proficiencies and shit. I think for Warlock, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But she's gonna move over here then
Mhm.
and start whacking at that bitch who tried to possess her son.
It's something that has like concentration that it begins at the caster, not in the target. It maintains and it comes back if she leaves. If it's something that is only the target centered, like this, it ends as soon as she walks in.
All right, fair
Because
enough.
there's no like source of magic to continue feeding it.
Yeah. Also, you guys passed it, so you guys are immune to it for 24 hours as well. So, time to hit a bitch. 1. It's a 16.
Yeah, that's actually enough. That hits and does enough damage. How do you want to do that?
Just slice it up and just cross it like it's fucking religious subtext, Ariel.
All right.
I'll be specific, but mode.
You kind of whip the greatsword in this strange pattern of up, down, left, right. Or maybe it's right, left. I actually don't know.
No,
I don't know.
left, right.
I got arms, bro.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
And I still have an attack.
Yes, you do.
And bonus action misstep.
Nice.
That one is still hovering way up in the air. You can't reach it. You would
Never
notice.
mind. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
You could Eldritch Blast it.
I can't. I'm in the middle of my attack action right now, and feather dart.
Yep, I was waiting for it.
Ariel feather dart.
Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure
Feather
you can pull that and throw it.
It's an 11. It's not.
Just barely hits.
I'm reading something. Fuck melee.
All right.
You were gonna smite it, weren't you?
Yeah, but bonus action. Fuck, I could have done this too. Can I mulligan right now?
Yeah, you can mulligan.
Before I did that attack, could I have done Hunter's Mark?
I'll allow it. I said you could mulligan, so I'll allow it.
Thank you.
All right. Are the feather? Did I say the feather darts were magical? I think they are. They come off the cloak.
Hold on, I have a sheet here.
Thank you.
Plus
Plus
one
one
magical.
magical darts. Yes.
Yep. Okay. I thought so. I had a feeling. I just, for a second, I was like, wait, did I? All right. So 13 full damage.
Yep.
All right. Very nice. I'm guessing that is all.
That is.
Elaris.
All right, cool. I'm going to. Alaris is going to move this way, so he can.
Oh,
within
hold on a
sight.
second.
Oh, wait, what?
What was the range on the feather darts?
90. Wait, no, never mind.
No, it's a
I'm a
dart.
dumbass.
It might have been at disadvantage, but you could only miss if you rolled a nat 1.
I could have moved up.
Um,
I had another 20 feet of movement.
she's like 40 feet in the air. I think
let
no
me
matter what.
roll a d20. It's a 15,
Yeah,
so it's
you're
a-
fine. You're fine. The only way you would have missed is a nat 1.
That's what. Halfling. I think I'd be okay.
That too.
Yeah.
You would have had to roll 2 of them.
Yeah.
Never mind. We're good.
Anyways,
Elaris, what do you want to do?
Anywho,
All right, so Alaris is going to move here. Hey guys, and he is going to Eldritch Blast it twice.
Go for it. That hits, and that hits.
Yeah,
All right.
DC 11. Fuck yeah.
11 again. Very consistent, oddly enough.
Yes. It's what Alaris is surprisingly good at is consistency.
Yep, you put out a hand. Boof, boof. 2 blasts slam into its, not quite ethereal, but nearly so.
Incorporeal.
Yes. Wavers in midair, starts to look around, in more of that almost impotent rage. Kane, I believe you're next.
Okay, kind of just very. Actually, I wonder how aware he is of this happening. Hold on. So, what do I have to roll for self-awareness, like physically?
You're fairly in tune with your physical form. I guess in a way it might be wisdom. I think that might be a little bit more like self-awareness.
Okay. He kind of like notices like the creaking of the joints and like, oh, that's a strange effect.
Yep.
And
You look,
he'll
you look
rush.
down at your hands, they're a little more gnarly and bony than they used to be.
Must have drained vitality or something. All right, and he's gonna throw the javelin of lightning, but not activate like the lightning bolt effect.
Mhm.
Just like the throw and attack.
Just the javelin itself. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So no lightning damage, of course.
All right. 19 hits, 10 piercing damage.
And his second attack, because he doesn't exactly have a ton of. Oh wait, hold on. 3120. That would have been disadvantage.
2 plus
6, 13, 18.
Yeah, you still hit.
Oh yeah, 'cause range attack that's too. Great. And he's gonna throw the harpoon as well. Disadvantaging him, and I don't think I can miss.
You could miss if it's a nat 1.
Can you pull all that out in one turn?
He has them equipped. Like it's just reach, throw, like it's ammunition.
Oh. That's interesting.
The harpoon is
Yeah.
like a weapon, though.
Yeah, any range attack like this treated as weapon as ammunition.
Interesting. It might make sense with the, dagger, dagger, dagger.
Yeah.
Being able to throw multiple darts in a turn, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, 24 definitely hits.
It is non-magical, the harpoon, so
Okay.
not sure what that changes.
It does resist it if it's
Okay.
non-magical. As you see, the harpoon kind of drag through the robes on this ghost, shredding slightly, but not as much as you feel that should have.
Is he still able to try to pull it towards him?
That's a very interesting question.
Like, does it have an advantage on the check or something?
I was gonna say that would be my best guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it at advantage on the check. So, go ahead and make your strength check.
Wait, hold on. It's immune to grapple, isn't it?
Wait a second. Yet cannot be grappled or restrained.
Yeah, that's pretty close to that.
And
What-
it's incorporeal movement and can move through creatures and objects as if difficult terrain.
Also, I'm not sure though, because it's not immune to a weapon attack.
The weapon isn't magical. Also, it's
Mm-hmm.
like,
What's what I mean though, because like that's why I said advantage, because it's not completely incorporeal, so it wouldn't be affected by this.
It's an odd little thing, honestly.
Just gonna go, let's see if there's anything there.
That attack only pulls it closer. It doesn't say that it doesn't say that it grapples or restrains it.
but it's using the same mechanics as like a shove action or a grapple.
However, I'm gonna give it advantage. However, it actually has advantage on things from another source going on right now.
Neat.
Though it is a check. Let's just double advantage it. It could still fail. Nope.
Ah, I can remember it was Ghost at a -5.
Yep, the ghost stays in place as your Hail Mary to pull it in closer does not succeed. However, it does look like you did a little bit of damage to it with that.
And bonus action, he'll just reel the harpoon back. So let's take a bonus action to do.
Okay.
And-
Alsana. Oh. Okay.
That's all.
Alsana.
Right. It's only got this one on that save, so yeah, she's gonna do another Sacred Flame. Do.
Alright, dexterity saving throw. It has advantage on this. Frankly, I forgot to put advantage on all the ghouls and ghasts. They should have had it on all their saves, but I was dumb and did forget. However, that fails. How do you want to do this?
Ooh. She'll just kind of like, she might even like turn off the wall of fire, and just kind of like pull it back, pull the remaining flames back, and then kind of turn them white and send them towards it.
All right. Yep, you do so, and there is a spark of white fire in the center of the ghost's chest that grows and pulses, and then suddenly erupts with a final scream that echoes once more inside your skull.
Be angry
The
no
ghost
more. We
fizzles.
are set to free you from this prison.
With that, the doll goes quiet once again.
Kenji's gonna turn to the rest of the party, big smile on his face, like, ah, guess you're right, lots of undead.
Oh, you
Uh,
What, is that more effective than I thought, that joke?
okay. You're a little.
Does Alsana
Does
know
Alsana-
about this?
Old.
You can roll a nature check,
Alright.
or actually
Religion?
make
Arcana?
it either religion or arcana.
Alright, it's all the same to me.
Probably religion.
All a number.
Guidance if she's thinking about it.
Yeah, you're specifically going, oh, do I know this thing? And you can take the action for guidance.
25.
25. You know the thing, you know what it takes to fix the thing. You
Mhm.
know that there's a time limit on there.
Just as a grin on her face, like, oh, you idiot. Well, you're paying for the materials, and also of note, I'm not bothering doing it until the end of the day.
I have the materials if you need it now, Asana.
No, I have
So
them as well. He's just going to
what's happening?
pay recompense.
Okay. It's not his fault that he got hit with it.
I mean,
It's not.
where does fault lie in combat?
Kenji's just gonna take like one
Really
of his
is.
weapons and smash it against the hammer with a stone. Like, thank you. Can someone please explain to me what's going on?
You
You
are
are made old,
older than me.
Magically aged.
magically aged.
Can you do a medicine check to judge the years?
I mean,
Or passive
sure,
medicine
go
is
ahead.
24, but
You know, freaking passive medicine. Let's just go with that. Your knowledge of humanoid physiology and half-orc physiology as well, because you grew up with this kid. You know that he tended to age a bit faster. He looks a bit older than you would think 2 decades would be on a human. You think it was about 2 decades.
it seems the accelerated aging of your racial demographic has been jumped forward about 20 years.
Oh, lovely. So I've got roughly 13 to 37 left. Good to know.
It can be fixed for a proper price. Also a bit of magic on my end, which frankly, I would rather save in case I end up having to make sure you're not dead, but old, rather than by the end of it.
I'll trust you enough not to be petty and let me lose 20 years. So whenever you say go, let me know.
And you're paying for the diamond.
Sure.
In the meantime, let's enjoy this little peek into the future, shall we?
Be glad. I doubt you're doubt I'm ever gonna get to see you this old. So
Oh no, mine is one free of such acceleration.
lucky you. Oh, let's move this rock.
And this time, as those who would
Alsana.
wish to make the attempt line up, you're able to get your fingers underneath it.
Alsana
Keep
taps
upward.
called on the shoulder again.
Go ahead and the two of you make a strength check.
Also,
Sorry.
Alsana's just going to do detect good and evil.
Athletics. Call it athletics, that's fine. Add a d4 for called it. Alright. 18 and a 23. You heave upwards. It takes a moment, and it's a struggle. But you finally manage to get leverage. There is a almost tortured shriek from the rusted hinges on the one side. As you haul the cover up, dust and dirt from ages past raining down, cracking around the edge and the seam.
Oh, good even, the rust is haunted.
You haul it backwards and actually swivel it to the side as the hinges both snap under the strain. You're left with a hole leading downwards. You can see a rickety, probably rotted wooden ladder on the side. Several rungs are missing. Goes down into the darkness. There's sunlight streaming from overhead to illuminate most of the chamber. It looks like a round tower room, empty,
Also,
with
it's got
stale air.
Also, it's going to light up a produce flame. Go, maybe stand back. We don't know what gases are trapped, and she's just going to drop it into there.
It downwards, scatters against the stone floor.
Does it illuminate any more than the sunlight does?
Not really. The floor is perhaps 12 feet down, 15 if you want to round up. It scatters some dust, but Otherwise, it seems that nothing else moves.
And she also did a detect good and evil.
All right. Could you give me a click of that or a copy paste?
I don't have it. It's on the wand, but copy paste.
Just to remind myself of wording and stuff, because there's a number of spells that are so similar. Within 30 feet, creatures located. This entire place is desecrated.
Big surprise.
However, you do not sense any but the usual celestial senses within 30 feet of you.
I'm going to keep this running. She kind of like runs a hand over the unicorn horn. I have at least a 30-foot judgment of things coming towards us. If any of you have anything similar, I'd recommend, if I'm predisposed, maybe bring it yourself.
Can't keep it up for long, but for a situation that seemed a little suspicious, and Cald is just like taking 50 feet of rope out and just trying to like tie it onto where they just moved the rocks and all that stuff, and just trying to get a solid rung so we can climb down.
All right.
Ken will take the glaive he had previously and kind of like hook it on two things to use as like a hold for the rope.
You're able to anchor the rope and toss it down into the depths. Climb down, perhaps drift in Alsana's case. And as you descend into the shadows, you start to feel very distantly the thrum of a shrine far below you. And that is where we're going to end today's session.
We found it.
We found
Finally.
it.
What day of the month is it?
18th.
It is actually the 18th.
Aha!
One of the later ones.
Well done.
I think our latest one, because we took a lot of time in between.
Yeah, but it's also the fucking Howling Plains, so you know.
We're gonna be here for a couple days. Gotta fight off some shit.
At least we know where the next one is.
Let's just hope we can consecrate this place so it doesn't keep spawning dead shit.
Oh, if we can't do it within an afternoon, Alsana's doing it in the next 50 years.
Yeah, it's like she's gonna
Same
come
with
back.
Olaris, yeah.
All right, so till next week,
Mm-hmm.
we'll pick up where we left off. Stick around after recording ends. I've got XP to give you guys.
Oh boy, XP. Until next time.